when I go live or upload another video. And if you like everything from a police perspective, subscribe to this channel and Police Off the Cuff, and you won't go wrong. I want to say a special thank you to my Patreon supporters, my channel members, and all the moderators, replay viewers, and friendly folks that come on in and interact with all of our guests. Tonight, I have a special guest coming to us live from Texas Equasearch in the Midwest. David Rader, he's the operations manager. He has agreed to come and join us here tonight. But before I introduce David, I want to show a little bit of piece of media that will tell you about why I have him on here. Most of you know that they're going to be coming back out to the to do the search for Summer Wells. It's going to be their second time around, and we're all excited about it because we want to bring Summer home. And these folks have the resources, have the skill set and the knowledge to do it. So I'm going to introduce him after I show you a little piece of media here to get you guys outside the country up to speed with what's going on. But before I do that, I want to just make sure everybody here hits the subscribe button and hits the notification bell so you'll get everything Duty Ron when I go live or upload another video. So without further ado, let me play this piece of media so you guys can get a better understanding of what's going to happen on July 24th. That's this Saturday.
From the Midwest is coming. Search for Summer Wells is expanding this weekend as a search and rescue group from the Midwest is coming back to the area to once again look for the missing 5-year-old.
The company is called Equasearch Midwest. They're based out of Ohio and also Texas. News Channel 11's Ainsley Daniel spoke with the director who says he's bringing fresh eyes and people in hopes of finding Summer.
Although the area around Ben Hill Road in the Beach Creek community seems much quieter than what it did at this time last month, authorities and search crews assure that people are still out looking for Summer Wells, including one group that's making another trip back this weekend.
Why not keep the bus rolling, as I say, and go out a little bit further? Some fresh eyes, some fresh people. Let's get this done.
David Rader is the director for Equasearch Midwest, a volunteer-based nonprofit search group out of Texas and Ohio. He reached out to the incident commander of search operations to ask if they could come back.
There's some things that we would like to go over that was just kind of bothering us as far as areas being searched and maybe going out a little bit further. So I reached out to him.
Captain Tim Coop is still in charge of the search efforts on the ground for Summer Wells. He wasn't available for an interview today, but told us, quote, they, along with several other teams, have been so outpouring with support and wanting to help out. I decided to have them come back and assist with some areas and search these as a combination decision by both agencies.
We have their blessing. They trust us enough to do what we do. And hopefully we'll have success.
Rader stresses the importance of the public not being involved in the search and not disclosing exact locations of search crews, not only because of safety due to the terrain, but also because it could hinder the investigation.
We can't have people stating that we were on this road at this specific spot, because then at that point in time when we mark it off that nothing's there, it's a possibility somebody could move her or evidence to that area. And it's already been marked off as search, so we don't go back to it.
That sentiment, something echoed by the agents with the TBI leading the investigation.
There could be a criminal aspect and something happened to her. And in order for us to work that investigation, there are just some things that we're not able to share with the public.
Rader says his group will begin searching at 8 a.m. on Saturday, and they will be going over some areas that they've already looked at, as well as areas even further out. In the Beach Creek community, Ainsley Daniel, News Channel 11.
So that's the bit of media that I wanted to share with you guys. I'm going to bring on our guest without further ado, David Rader, the operations director for Equasearch Midwest. Thank you so much. You got to thank you. Thank you, Dave, for joining. It's a pleasure to have you. Just got to hit it once. There you go. You're good.
Are we good?
Yep.
Yep. I appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
Yeah, you know, Dave, it's such an important thing that's tugging at everyone's heart, this search for Summer Wells. It's started out as a local story, and it's worked its way across the United States, and now is an international story. We have folks from South America, South Africa, we have New Zealand, Australia, the UK. So, I mean, all eyes are on this, and this small Beach Creek neighborhood over in Rogersville, Tennessee, it's like nothing they've ever seen before. But we're talking about a little innocent 5-year-old kid that has just virtually vanished. And I wanted to bring you on to talk about the great work that Equasearch has done in the past and now is doing here. Would you tell the folks what the mission statement is for Saturday coming up?
You know, it's our it's the logo that we've always stood by. Lost is not alone. So. And we stand behind that. It's just because you're lost, you're not alone. It's you know, I have got some great members, and we do this from the heart. And, you know, Ron, here's the other thing too is that Rogersville has never seen anything like this. And what I compare it to is this is their Kaylee Anthony. This is their little 5-year-old child that's missing, and it's part of them, and that's what makes this so. You know, so special is that it's, you know, somebody that is so innocent And needlessly, something has happened to this little girl, and we need to find her and find out, what exactly went down that day.
Yeah,
Hey guys, it's been a while. So I wanted to come live because the last live I had, we were talking about Andy, of course, but we were also talking about Equasearch. I don't remember if it was a comment in my live or on one of my videos, but somebody had asked me to start going over the Equasearch interviews. So I felt now is a better time than ever. Since we know that Andy was fighting Equasearch being there, Jody was talking about it was because of the psychics. There was an issue with the psychics, I think. I've gone over some of Duty Ron before, or Twyla, where she talks about going into a gas station and they were confusing her for not the real searchers. However, there were some other things brought up too that it's just been a long time since I've listened to all these. And I think that they're important. I think that the searchers that came in there to search were important. I also discovered today that I'm going to go through when we're done with the Equasearch stuff, because this is going to be probably a week's long project. Duty Ron has spoken to them a lot, and this is the first interview with them that I'm going over. But I also discovered that Trevor Lee was on Duty Ron once, and it led me down a rabbit hole of his foundation. I learned some about it. I told you guys when I talked about him last time that I didn't know much about his foundation. Well, I found out a little bit about it. And actually, I'm proud of Trevor Lee for a bill he just got passed. Some things I didn't know. But it makes me really curious why he went further than he did. I don't think he has anything to do with Summer, no, especially not after this. I feel like when he was in college and his friend Gabby passing away, I think it did something to him. And he started working with him passing laws, the Gabby law in Tennessee. And I actually wouldn't mind having a conversation with Trevor, but we'll get to that one day. We're not going to spend too much time on that. I remember someone said Twyla was on a Jerry Springer show. Oh, I don't remember that. I love Twyla. I think Twyla's so sweet. I like Equasearch. I know there's a lot of controversy behind them. But I've been following Equasearch since Casey Anthony. That was the first time I ever heard of them. And I followed a ton of cases that they have been involved in. The Natalie Holloway case. You got to look at it seems like anytime the searchers come in, there's controversy with them, no matter who they are. I've never seen a search team come in and not have controversy. I know Dave Miller did some questionable things during Haley's case. However, Haley was like, that case was his baby. You know what I mean? We'll talk about it one day. It was probably just drama, but I remember that. I'll have to look it up. That would be funny. She's so cute to me. I love her. I love that, when I was pulling these together, Duty Ron did a few things with them that doesn't concern Summer at all. And there was a case they were going over right after Summer's case, or during Summer's case, where they had found a guy it was a missing man. There ended up being a conviction, and they had found the remains of this guy. And her dedication to that case and to hear about it, and the officer, come on, we'll have to go over that one day too. All right, guys, let me get to this, because I'll sit here and chit chat. And by the way, hold on, let me real quick before I do that, let me share Duty Ron's link for anybody who wants to go watch this, not live, because I'll be pausing eventually. Here's the link to this video. The date on this is July 19th, 2021. And yeah, let's go.
Oh, and the funny part about it is that, there's so much chatter on the internet, with Facebook and Twitter. And, these are all people who just want an answer. They want to find out, heck, what happened to this girl? And what they're looking for, and rightfully so, they're looking for answers from law enforcement. What does Equasearch have to offer that law enforcement search and rescue teams do not have to offer? That's a common question that folks are asking.
The whole thing is that, law enforcement wasn't designed to do what we do in the woods. Law enforcement is designed to do the investigation end of this. And this is where we come into play, is that we try to be a hand in glove scenario for law enforcement while they're on the ground, beating the bushes and getting the pertinent information. For us to go out and check specific areas, we're basically their eyes and their boots on the ground and covering those said areas. I mean, we know how times are so tough, and the budgets and everything. They don't have the manpower. Matter of fact, if you're looking at Hawkins County Sheriff's Office right now, along with their EMA down there, they're going to have a hard time not justifying, but I mean trying to come up with the funds to pay the officers that have spent hours upon hours.
Right. And you know what? And Dave, I watched that budgetary meeting. I've been watching, and I think most of the people here that are on this case, most of the people that are watching and following closely, that poor sheriff, Ronnie Lawson, went into that budget meeting, and it seemed like he was getting attacked. But the budget coordinators are like saying, well, how are we going to pay for this? But they didn't say that they weren't going to pay for it. They were saying, well, we need to cut certain areas and So I kind of homed in on some of the conversation, and a lot of people were just enraged and like, oh, how dare they? But the budget people were saying, we're not going to not pay for it, but we got to just figure it out. But that's the thing. That's the thing, Dave, is that they're being.
I'm just going to talk real quick because I'm missing the damn show trying to write this. Little Dev, I was trying to reply. Yes, Duty Ron is a survivor. He has dedicated his life to his job. He continues to do so. He is a hero in my eyes because he dug through all that 9/11 stuff. He was there for all of it, and now he's battling cancer. I pray for Duty Ron, and I hope all of you do too, that he survives his fight and he wins. I just want you to know, Duty Ron, that you got a lot of people in your corner. Okay.
Being stretched, and they're being stretched real thin. This is where an organization like you, which is by all means, well equipped, but a 501c3 nonprofit, right? Did I get that right? 501.
That is correct.
Right.
We're free. I mean, we're free. We don't charge the family. We don't charge law enforcement. It's a great gig for them to be able to reach out to us and utilize what they may not even have. I mean, we got some of the best technology that's on the planet. Right. That they may not have access to either. So, I mean, it's like I said, it's a hand in glove scenario. Around.
Hey, Dave.
Okay, so I don't know if I missed the part already. They're talking about, the costs of a search, and we've seen that Sullivan County struggled. They struggled with the cost. They struggled with, the payments of communication, even getting their fire department $300. They're not a county that has a lot of money, So when resources like Equasearch come in that are renowned and people know them, it does them huge favors. So when neighbors of the missing throw a fit and demand that they want them out of the area and not searching, there's a problem. Not to mention how ignorant that is, you know. But one of the things he said was TBI reached out to them. Did y'all miss that? I did. So it might still be coming up, but if he didn't say it already, but yes, that is how they were contacted, through TBI. Okay.
I want to bring on another special guest that we have here. He is a retired detective sergeant from the Manhattan North Homicide Squad. He's got 27 years in law enforcement, but 16 of those 27 years he spent working major cases and homicides throughout Manhattan in New York City. And Bill Cannon from Police Off the Cuff is.
Little Dev, that's the thing. We've been told that the card team is involved. But what bothers me is, why aren't they standing with the TBI, the parents, Lawson, when they do their press conferences? I don't think I have ever seen a press conference in the case of a missing child, except for Summer, where the FBI card team, when they're involved, is not standing there with them. I don't understand, and I think that those are the things that the TBI and Hawkins County could come out and explain to us. Like, are they involved? What is the depth of their case? They could give us education. They don't have to give us details about the case, because we know they can't, right? But there are things that these people could do, in my opinion, that would curb a lot of speculation. I don't know. I'm glad Sebastian. Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to go over that. I forgot about that. Yeah, we'll talk about that one day. All right, let me shush.
Joining us here. And the reason I had Bill come on is because he is like a treasure trove of information when it comes to investigations. And I know he's got a lot of questions. Bill, thank you for joining.
It's my pleasure. I'm glad to be on the same show with David Rader. You're definitely doing God's work here, and I take off my hat to you.
And again, Bill, it's one of those things. We're all in this together. It's not like we're different teams. It's like we just have different, the punting unit, and we got the offense. We're all still on one team, and we're going after the same thing. So I mean, we're all God sent. I mean, let's just put it to you this way: we all have one goal in mind, and that's to find this little girl or whoever.
Yeah,
100%.
And I picked up on a lot of statistics, like 400 missing persons returned, 400 plus missing persons returned home safely. Okay, that's a feat in itself. 238 plus people who were found by this organization, by Equasearch, that were deceased, but brought home to their families so they can have closure. I mean, these folks go out to different countries, Aruba, they've been to Sri Lanka, they've been to Mexico, they've been to Jamaica, the Dominican Republic, Nicaragua. I mean, you guys aren't just servicing the United States, you're international.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, wherever we can go to help a family, that's what we'll do. And you brought up Aruba, Ron, and I don't want to get off on a tangent, but the cool part about this is that I got to meet Dave Holloway, Nellie Holloway's father.
Right.
And he actually came and helped us on a search, even.
Now, let me tell you, Dave Radar did amazing work in Natalie's case. He has been to Aruba millions of times searching for her, for that young lady, and he never gave up on it. I followed that case. I followed Natalie, and you're on that motherfucker. Okay.
Know that we have not found his daughter. And then what was really a cool aspect of this is that how these other families kind of stepped in to help out other families of the missing, is that Dave's sister, which was Natalie's aunt, came and helped me find a woman down in Jonesboro, Arkansas last year. She was part of the search group that, this lady was missing for 2 years, and she helped find this woman.
Wow. That's amazing.
I mean, that says a lot. I mean, even though that they're going through their tragedy, they put aside their own tragedy to help another family. That's what I'm saying by it's an amazing, again, it's a hand in glove scenario. Everybody works together.
It's a beautiful thing when a private organization like yourselves, funded by donations, funded by generous folks who pledge amounts monthly or pledge one-time amounts. And I encourage everyone to look in my description section after this video is over. I'm going to put a link to the PayPal for David's chapter over in Ohio. It's the Ohio chapter of Equasearch. You guys call it the Midwest.
It's called Equasearch Midwest.
I will link that below in the description for anyone who wants to donate. It is a wonderful organization that I personally will donate myself. When I get done with this live stream, I will personally make a donation to his chapter for the great work. When you want to talk about what you did the very first time, take us back to June 15th of 2021, and when after that, when you guys arrived on the scene, around what day or when was that you guys first came on the set?
She went missing on that Tuesday afternoon, reported missing about 6:40 that evening. We reached out probably on that Thursday to see if there was anything that we could possibly do to assist down there. We finally did get a phone call back on that Saturday evening, probably at about 5 o'clock in the evening, wanted us to be ready to go on Sunday morning. I personally got about 7 of us together on short notice to go down to Rogersville, Tennessee. I was on the ground in a hotel at 11 o'clock that night, ready to go for the next day. So, there was multiple agents.
By generous folks who pledged amounts monthly or pledges arrived on the scene. Around what day or when was that you guys first came on the set?
She went missing on that Tuesday afternoon, reported missing about 6:40 that evening. We reached out probably on that Thursday to see if there was anything that we could possibly do to assist down there. We finally did get a phone call back on that Saturday evening, probably at about 5 o'clock in the evening, wanted us to be ready to go on Sunday morning. I personally got about 7 of us together on short notice.
Okay, so he explains it a few times. I don't know if it's in this live, but in this live, he states that he reached out to them first and then got the call back, but it was TBI he reached out to, and we'll eventually get there. TBI gave them the okay to come. Hawkins County kicked them out, in my opinion.
To go down to Rogersville, Tennessee. I was on the ground in a hotel at 11 o'clock that night, ready to go for the next day. So, there was multiple agencies.
Who called you, David, to come down there? Was it law enforcement or was it the family?
No. The family did not contact us. It was strictly through law enforcement, which was being handled through their emergency manager, the Hawkins County EMA.
Okay, so it was like the Timmy Coop, Captain Coop, and his people.
That is correct. Yeah, Tim Coop was headlining this whole dance, we'll call it. And I'll tell you, he did one hell of a job as far as putting a lot of agencies and a lot of manpower on short notice and really covering a boatload of ground. It was incredible.
Dave, could you just explain to us and our audience, when you got there, what was the organization like of this search? How was it organized? As who would take what area? Who would take another area? What are we going to deploy? We're going to deploy horses. We're going to deploy aviation. We're going to deploy canine. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Before
it was.
Dave, before you answer, I got to ask a favor of you because it's driving me crazy.
Sure.
Is there any way you can back up away from the camera because half of your head's there you go. You don't have to be that far, or it's fine. You right there is good.
Okay.
Everybody was I didn't even look at the chat, but I know that I was going to get a lot of complaints because your forehead was cut off. So now everybody can see your beautiful locks of hair.
Yeah, Dave, you have such beautiful hair. They want to see it. That's right.
I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. I don't have hair, so I could say that. But I wanted the people to see you fully, and I didn't want to have your forehead.
I can't even see me. All I got on my screen is still the.
You're perfect.
The piece led up to it. So that's why I can't.
All right.
I couldn't tell how far it was.
No, you're good right there. Bill, you want to lead back into that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I would just like to know when you finally got there and you had all your personnel put together, what was the organization of this search like? How was it put together? How were the personnel deployed, and how was it determined who would search what specific areas, and how would they search these specific areas?
At the time they were still searching around the house, thinking that this girl walked away. So at that point in time, there was no foul play ever mentioned, or I don't think that was considered. So at that point in time, they were strategically breaking down in and around that house into grids. And then what they would do is keep all of your manpower together, so they wasn't like basically breaking you up to put with another group. So they took those groups, and depending on the qualifications and what you're used to is how they broke it down into what sector that you went to.
He does a really good job here describing what they do when they search. I think it's in this one. They get really big into detail. But yes, little Dev, it was their choice. I had a phone call with Pruitt And let me see real quick. Let me see if I got it in a video or posted. I think I shared it not that long ago. Oh boy, I posted a lot of videos, I guess. Was it in this one? Where We Can Bring You Hope, they had a hot mic. It might have been in this one. Shit. I'm afraid to click it. I don't want to watch the whole 28 minutes. I thought... All right. I guess I don't have it separate. I could pull it out. And the next time I come live, I'll share it, little Dev. My conversation with Pruitt, where Pruitt had said that they were offered those services, but he can't force them to take them. And then they ended up with We Can Bring You Hope, which I'm really curious about. I'd like to know how all that went down. Anybody who was involved in that wants to speak about it, that would be really cool to talk about, because you know, as someone who's from the area, Butler County is a part of Pittsburgh. All of their news comes here. It's not far. We travel there. They travel there. Here, this is their city. And I've never heard of We Can Bring You Hope on the news. Now, I did find like maybe one news article about them. It wasn't nothing amazing. But like my son's a 2-time heart transplant recipient, and there's an organization named Jamie's Dream Team here. It's kind of like Make-A-Wish, and they're on the news all the time. Like, you know, when they're working and they're out doing things. But this We Can Bring You Hope, they're not like known in our area. I'm not saying they're not real. They are registered. It's been looked into. But what I don't like is they were putting different phone numbers on their flyers, and then you did have the hot mic moment, and yeah, that's a whole nother subject. Let's not get off task. But yeah, little Dev, they definitely refused those services. Pruitt said that out of his own damn mouth. Okay.
They had aviation in the air. They had the helo. They had dog teams. I think that they had 5 or 6 different dog teams down there. So they were strategically placing the dogs ahead of the foot searchers, and then we would go in behind them as a checks and balances. And it was well organized. They would actually take us they would bus us in to each individual plot of land that we were going to do, and then we were in radio contact as far as if we found anything, if we found any evidence. We were all GPS tracked, and I can tell you, if I could share that with you, it's incredible on the amount of manpower that was in and around that piece of property in that mountain over the course of those 5 or 6 days that I was there.
You know, Dave, some the folks are going to ask there's different types of dogs, bloodhounds, there's cadaver dogs. What all manner of dogs working this scene?
Yeah, they were actually using live track, and they were also using cadaver. From what I understand, they could not get a very good scent article from the house for Summer, because I think that everything was kind of shared. So I'm not too sure how well that played out, but they did use cadaver, and they also used live track in that.
So I had gone on Andrews earlier today, and I touched on that a little bit. Summer scent. The Wells weren't exactly like clean freaks. Their house was dirty. We all know that. I'm not trying to put them down. We know that them kids traveled through the woods. We know that Dawn and Candace rode the dirt bikes with them. The footprints could have been placed at any moment. Summer's scent would have been all over that area. That's why I feel it's an opinion that the scent dogs could have tracked incorrectly. Now, when you leave the property and you get dogs hitting on spots like Fred Hill's truck, then you have an issue. That's a concern to me. That's always a concern, and that's what puts Fred in my number one. That and the fact that they locked him up and that they did lie detector tests on him that he didn't pass. However, I also have the feeling that other people in the area have knowledge. I don't know what the truth is. I can only guess like the rest of y'all. Those are the things I find funny. The smell on Fred's truck is extremely concerning to me. I don't understand how it got there.
One of them took us in any one direction.
So was it confirmed, Dave, that they did bring in multiple dogs into the home and outside of the home? Because there's been reports that some dogs got sent to the end of the road of the house and then it stopped there. Is there any truth to that statement, Dave?
But from what I understand, yes, that as far as the interior of the house, I have no knowledge of that working. But I did hear on several occasions that the live track took it to the end of the driveway, and that's where they lost it. And usually that means they get into a car. But again, if you look up, guys, if you look up where this house sits, and the possibility of a stranger abduction, it does not make sense at all. Only for the simple reason that you have to go. You're in a secluded area. Number one. Number two is that you have to come off of a main road to go down their road, only to go back a long driveway. Right. And again, if they're all sitting there and they're all there, the odds of that happening are, to me, slim to none.
And and Dave, we heard a lot about the family's dogs, and it said there was reported that there was anywhere from 7 to 20 dogs. Can you confirm that?
I cannot confirm that. I know that there was a couple of dogs, but as far as that many dogs, I can't confirm that at all.
That would make it even more difficult for a stranger to come onto the property.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I would think that if she wandered away, I would think one of those dogs would go with her.
I'm showing an overview of the property. I don't know if you could see that, Dave, but I'm going to go full screen with it so you guys can see. This is the house right here in the middle of the screen. So I'll bring it down, but this is an overview of the area. And here's the road that led to that's their road right alongside the 110B. What is it?
It's Ben Hill.
Ben Hill, right? Ben Hill Road. Yep. With my glasses, I could read up close, but far away, everything gets blurry. This what sucks about age, right? But anyways, so this is the home right here, and quite a bit of trees, bush, heavy bush all around it. And if you pan out, you got random homes up over here to your right, and it's just few and far between of dwellings. So it's mainly some open fields across the way, and then just a concentration of a lot of hills, valleys, and heavy bush. Talk about some of the difficulties of searching that.
I mean, on Google Earth, you can't really tell how steep those hills are, but let me tell you from firsthand, a billy goat would have a damn hard time traversing some of these hills that we were on the side of. I mean, they were very treacherous. There was sticker bushes. There was we had sightings of bear. We had a lot of copperheads. We had everything that you could think of. The heat was just incredible. It was taking a toll on the searchers because it was so damn hot. It was like 90 degrees, and people think, well, you're in the shade, you're in the, you're under cover. There's no air under there.
Yeah. I want to say that it's admirable for volunteers to come out. You have people coming from you guys are up in Ohio, so I would imagine that a lot of your personnel have come from your local area or the surrounding area, right?
I've actually got one coming from Evansville, Indiana.
Wow.
I've got them coming from Kentucky, of course. I've got them coming from Tennessee, of course. I've got 2 or 3 people that are coming north of me from Dayton, Ohio.
Right.
I know a lot of people state that she went missing prior to the 15th. Now, could it have been prior in the night hours? That's a possibility if the horse pawn didn't happen. But we do know that CPS was at their house according to Dawn, closing a case. According to Jody Sue, no way in hell was closing a case on the 14th, and all that Jackie Dobbs stuff was going on, and the 14th was a crazy day, and I wonder if the 14th holds answers for the 15th, and I'm not talking about Jackie Dobbs. I want to know what arguments were going on that day. It seemed like there was a lot of chaos on Ben Hill Road on the 14th. Yeah, little Dev, they have told very little, but that's like their job. That's how they protect their cases. However, in most cases, a lot of people will know what kind of stuff to leak, and they're just not leaking anything. They're giving nothing, and it has been 3 years, and I think it's time we demand answers. Like, there has to be something more that either they can give or tell or let us know. And I'm not saying, like, I don't want the details. Like I told you earlier, they can come out and tell us, like, what is their relationship with the FBI at this moment? What is the relationship between Hawkins County and the TBI at this moment? Are they still conducting ground searches? Have they collected all the evidence they can as far as technology? Like, they don't got to come out and give us all the details, but if they gave us something new to talk about, things might let up a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand you don't see that. Like in Michael Vaughn's case, those police are so open and they talk and they give enough that you don't see Brandy being harassed daily and all of this going on. In my opinion, I think Summer was with Candace and Granny after Granny, who the grouch. See, the only thing with that tic tac is that they stayed. Hunter had a doctor's appointment that day and went to it. I personally think it was a probation appointment, and they didn't want people to tell you. And the dude got piss tested that day, and that's how they found out he was drinking. That's my opinion. I think Candace got his ass in trouble. Okay, hold on. I don't believe it was a doctor's appointment. I think he was going to see his probation officer. You guys got to remember he was on probation. All right, let me put this on because I got like 2 or 3 of these I want to watch. A couple little ones, 2 long ones, a little one, and a news clip. Okay.
I had somebody reach out from West Virginia.
Wow.
So
your personnel that comes with you. First, I want to say thank you to Denise Spalding for the $100 super chat. Much appreciated. That's going to go and pay it forward. I'm going to send that directly over to Dave's organization. So thank you for that super chat, Denise Spalding. It's $100 going towards the search for Summer Wells. Appreciate that. Thank you to all the members who become channel members. What type of personnel, Dave, that you have? Talk about retired professionals. Do you have retired police? Do you have retired search and rescue pilots? Talk about some of those folks that come aboard with the organization.
you know, we have so many different diverse individuals from different backgrounds. We just have a new member today that's in the mining industry that has a plethora of tools that we could reach out to. I've got some of the best technology that there is on the planet as far as drones. Some of these drones are $35,000-$40,000 that has near FLIR on, or near infrared, I'm sorry. And anybody that doesn't really know, this is a new technology that they have developed, that they can actually tell if a piece of ground has been disturbed from a drone. That's unheard of. So if we're looking for a grave, it could possibly be we could fly an area and this infrared would be able to tell us if dirt has been turned over or moved in any different way.
Wow.
And that's detrimental only for the simple reason that instead of having a whole team go and check that anomaly out, we now can just sit there and send 1 or 2 persons to that because it's GPS marked, and that we can sit there and check out and see if it is a grave or it's something else. We've got in underwater, we have a remote controlled sonar unit. So instead of putting divers in the water for cars, bodies, I can literally take this, deploy it within 15, 20 minutes, and I can tell you exactly what's in the bottom of that retention pond or small lake.
Now, let me ask you, I don't mean to cut you off because
See, the technology they have is amazing. Having them leave was a huge flaw for Hawkins County, in my opinion. I know they came back, but they didn't get it all the way through, and people tried to make it a problem. I personally could see the pain in Dave Radar's eyes and Twyla's eyes and the anxiety that Summer's search caused them. They went on to do another Tennessee search right after that and didn't have no problems. They went on to do the search in Alabama I was talking about earlier. No problems. The one I want to share with you guys when we're done going through the summer stuff, or maybe even during, when we get to it, I'll share it. It was in November of 2021. It was a man down in Alabama. They became friends with the police officer of the neighborhood, had dinner at their home. I don't like the way Ronnie Lawson treated Equasearch. From an outsider looking in, that's my opinion, and that's why I have bad feelings about Ronnie Lawson. And it wasn't TBI that contacted him. I'm sorry. It was Tim Coop that contacted Equasearch. I just remembered. I have wondered if the Williams guy had anything to do with this. I don't think he directly would have had anything to do with Summer. However, I do think that it's a possibility there could be something bigger going on in the area that he has connections to. I don't know that for sure, but that guy's a sick fuck. I hope he never sees the light of day again. All right.
You were pretty much finished with that. But when we look at guys like, there's a channel here that has like 1 million subscribers. It's called Adventures with Purpose.
Yep.
So Jared and his partner Sam go out, and there's another guy with them now. They go out, and I've seen them like with a trolling boat, like a trolling motorboat, and then they have that sonar equipment. Is that what it takes to go and scan, or can you do it from like can you do it from a drone or a helicopter? Or
No, it's actually from the shore. So all I have to do is take it out of my truck, throw it in, scan it, bring it back, put the SD card in the computer, and I can tell you exactly what's in that right, and I'm not even leaving the area. So I can do smaller retention ponds to where the Adventures with Purpose, they're more of the larger lakes. They actually work with a team out of St. Louis, Team Waters, WATTERX. They have helped them tremendous. And Dennis and Tammy are probably one of the best in the water business as far as they have, I think, over 105 bodies recovered to date.
Wow. And
So,
you have them on board with you?
I have them on board, yes, sir.
Dave, I want to ask you, to me, a very pertinent question. And you sort of touched upon it almost unintentionally. You said that if she had walked out and actually walked down the road, that the dogs probably would have found her. So I'm just going to ask you, do you think that the story told by Candace is plausible?
No.
I think, something I really like that, you're not an investigator, but based on you're coming from a different discipline, and that is deductive reasoning at its best.
Yeah. And David, did you say 100% no?
I don't think that it's plausible that she wandered off and nobody could not with the amount of individuals that we had covering that mountain, and especially after day 4 when I got there, and the amount of people that surrounded that, it's almost like it just was a noose and it was just tightening up. There's no way she could have got out of that first circle without being spotted, and especially when you got a helo with FLIR on it. Now all of a sudden you have to also remember, guys, that this little girl after day 4 has not had any water, has not had any nourishment. She's in dire straits at this point in time. So her movements are going to be slow, if not non-existent. So she's not even going to be a moving target at that point in time. And for 1,000 people to sit there and literally not find this girl within the confines of that circle, I ain't buying it.
Thank you. Let's talk about the first 48 hours. How important is that?
I think the first hour is detrimental. 48. I mean, a lot can happen in 48 hours.
Right.
And the way I think of things, guys, and again, I don't want to piss nobody off or jump a bandwagon, but here's my thought process on all of this across the United States. If you have a missing individual, I think law enforcement should have a search team or something like us. So when that individual goes missing, all hands are on deck, and you put all those resources in there and you saturate. And I think that's when you're going to have your best success, is within that 24 hours, if not sooner.
I think that Hawkins County. Oh, hold on, guys. I got a cough. Jesus, I gotta get water again. Hey, Lady R, you think maybe we can make a video about Emma Baum? Yeah, do I know who that is? The name sounds familiar. I have to look. My brain's in. Yes, I will look it up. Yes, I will do that for you. We could do that. JSB claimed the other night that Dawn was coming back and forth from Utah to Tennessee and knew Jose was there. Well, yeah, I don't know that he was coming back and forth. I don't know that anything Jody Sue says is fucking true. Fuck that bitch. We're gonna watch her video in a minute. My parody. But what we do know is that Jose had been there and Dawn had slept in the home with Jose for at least 14 days prior to Summer go missing, because he came back like October 3rd or something. The PFA didn't go in until I think the 14th, so not 14, but Dawn was in the home living with Jose for at least a week or two prior to the fight happening. So yeah, that's odd to me. It was permitted. Jose being there was permitted. And yes, that might have been part of the problem when they were drinking. Me and Tones came out and they started fighting or whatever. But all this hoopla about Jose screwing Candace and this, that, and the other, nah, I ain't buying it. Not at all. Agree. Both, in my opinion, Joel Weed. See, I do want to say this, I appreciate Tiffany Marie got up the last 2 days and has been starting to cover Summer again. I'm grateful for that. However, nah, don't coddle Ziggy, dude. Summer scent was still on Fred's car. Fred's still a suspect. You can't stick up for one and protect the other when your mind feels like switching and changing back and forth. Both of these people are suspects and they should be treated as so, in my opinion, especially since they're two from the area that came out with all the bullshit and caused a lot of confusion along with fucking Bunny Sue over there. Yeah, let's do that. Let's take a little break here.
Your bunny suit, it's a messy birthday night. In Christmas lingerie, what a wild sight. With lashes so long they could start a fight. Crying those blues on live stream tonight.
Bunny Sue's got Jose Cuervo, straight from the bottle. No mixers, no ice, full throttle. Wow, she's yelling at YouTube to play her sad jams. Rocking fuzzy slippers like a hot Instagram. It's my damn birthday, where's my parade? She live streaming tears while the rent's unpaid. Throws glitter in the air, but it sticks to the cat. Now everyone watching's like, what the hell was that?
Oh, Bunny Sue, why you crying those blues? Sparkling eyeshadow, but your heart's got a bruise. On YouTube, you'll sit in your box all day. Lonely by choice, you like it that way. Raise your glass, girl, it's your birthday display.
Back in the day, she was living it raw. Stripper heels clacking on a sticky dance floor. Cash only, she'd star while the bouncers took tips. Moving more powder than a baker's mix.
That's Bunny Sue.
The whispers would say,
She'll take your money and your stash away.
her throne was the stage, a queen of the grind. But the past caught up and ended her pride. Now she's streaming her blues with glittery flair, wishing for the glory she'd lost back there.
Birthday blues, they're hitting like bricks. Bunny Sue's drowning in tequila tricks. Toxic as hell with a smirk and a glare. A train wreck in glitter, and she just doesn't care.
Back home she goes to her box of shade, ranting on YouTube about who's to blame.
The world's a dump, and I'm its queen.
She's got 2 viewers watching, and one's her screen.
Pours tequila on cake, takes a frosting shot.
I don't need fruit.
Lisbeth, you must not know Jody Sue's and mine's relationship. Jody Sue and I have talked in the background. This is the first time I've seen your name here, so let me fill you in. Jody Sue and I believe I would say it's a frenemy, weird-ass fucking relationship that we have. I have been sent to court with Jody Sue because of shit she says. It's a little more for me with this bitch. Hey, Sassy. Thank you, Tic Tac. It's a little bit more for me with the bitch than just me thinking she did something this summer. I don't think she did anything this summer. I've never thought she's done anything this summer. However, I think she's a bitch. So, yeah, there's that. Yeah, she called you a child murderer. I mean, this is just, I have a very long relationship with Jody Sue since the Facebook days. So I feel that I have earned my right with this hoe bag to say whatever the fuck I want about her, because she has no problem saying that I have done criminal ass shit daily on her live streams, and I'm about fed up with it. She puts me down. Well, she says I say shit about her. Well, if you want me to say shit about you, I'm saying shit about you. Let's start the fucking song over.
Your bunny suit, it's a messy birthday night. In Christmas lingerie, what a wild sight. With lashes so long they could start a fight. Crying those blues on live stream tonight.
Bunny's who's got Jose Cuervo, straight from the bottle. No mixers, no ice, full throttle. Wow, she's yelling at YouTube to play her sad jams. Rockin' fuzzy slipper.
Not for drugs. I got arrested for a fight and underage drinking. Yeah, I have an arrest record. It's been shown on here a million times by creators, by myself. I've never drug trafficked, though. I never was a pill mule. I didn't travel pills to Chattanooga to Washington, D.C. by their own admission. I've never murdered family members of people by getting them addicted to drugs that destroy lives and families, if that's what you're asking. You should check out Jody Sue's charges. I have some past recent live streams about it. But you're trolling now, so chat, ignore the trolls. We're done. I'm going to let my song play, and then we're going to go back to Duty Ron, because, you know, we ignore the trolls here.
Like a hot Instagram. It's my damn birthday. Where's my parade? She live streaming tears while the rent's unpaid. Throws glitter in the air, but it sticks to the cat. Now everyone watches like, what the hell was that?
Oh, bunny, so why you crying those blues? Sparkling eyeshadow, but your heart's got a bruise. On YouTube, you'll sit in your box all day. Lonely by choice, you like it that way. Raise your glass, girl, it's your birthday display.
Back in the day, she was living it raw. Stripper heels clacking on a sticky dance floor. Cash only, she'd star while the bouncers took tips. Moving more powder than a baker's mix.
That's Bunny Sue.
The whispers would say,
She'll take your money and your stash away.
her throne was the stage, a queen of the grind. But the past caught up and ended her prime. Now she's streaming her blues with glittery flair, wishing for the glory she'd lost back there.
Birthday blues, they're hidden like bricks. Bunny Sue's drowning in tequila tricks. Toxic as hell with a smirk and a glare. A train wreck and glitter, and she just doesn't care.
Back home she goes to her box of shade, ranting on YouTube about who's to blame.
The world's a dump and I'm its queen.
She's got 2 viewers watching and one's her screen.
Pours tequila on cake, takes a frosting shot.
I don't need friends,
They're all robots anyways.
her lashes are falling, her wig's askew. Happy birthday
To me cries Bunny Sue. Bunny Sue, why you crying those blues? Sparkling eyeshadow, but your heart's got a bruise. On YouTube you'll sit in your box all day. Only by choice, you like it that way. Raise your glass, girl, and sip your dismay.
I'm toxic as hell, she says with a smirk. Burning every bridge is just part of my work. She scrolls through her phone, rants to the screen.
My life's a wreck, but at least I'm a mean birthday blues.
They're hitting like bricks.
Bunny Sue's drowning in tequila tricks.
Toxic as hell with a smirk and a glare. A train wrecking glitter, and she just doesn't care. Late in the night, she's lost in a stream. Rambling nonsense, chasing some dream.
I don't need no one.
I'm the boss of my box. She knocks over her lights, spilling glittery rocks.
Her cats I impress, giving her shade while Bunny Sue's chaos goes on parade.
She's laughing and crying, a birthday tornado. Sipping old Jose, her own twisted halo. Yo, Bunny Sue, what a birthday night. In Christmas lingerie, what a wild sight. Raise a Cuervo high, toast to the mess. A glitter-filled queen in pure hot distress.
Hello, my tie. Hello, guys. How are you? Hope everyone is well tonight. I'm doing just fine. Definitely had some, geriatric chicken plants, swinging by. Yeah. That's why I was curious about what I was doing on my birthday, I suppose. Ooh, what should I do? Ooh, can we keep running boxing? Oh my god. Right. Anyway. So, yeah, that was foiled, but, so I thought I'd come here, share a birthday drink, Joe, because, motherfucker not, I decided to knock the dust off of it. There's a bottle I've had to share with yours. And, anyway, got this UCD. Anyway, but yeah, thought I'd come on and have some birthday drinks, you know? Maybe a fucking cupcake. Alright? Maybe a fucking cupcake. And I should not be having this. I did spend the biggest portion of my birthday, sicker than hell. Probably much possible, but walked it off. It's so good. I like dancing in the snow last night, quite frankly. Anyway, because I just feel a cold Jose in my soul. Right? It's weird they always think there's something in my fucking cup, bro. It's weird. I act like I'm a mixer type of bitch. Never could figure that out. Anyway, no. Not one of those. Sorry, guys. I don't need like Pepsi, Dry Coke. You'll know. You know what I mean? You'll know.
Sooner. That's my.
But Dave, it sounds like you guys were all over that pretty damn quickly.
You know, to me, that's how you have like an Alzheimer's patient.
And you're searching the area according to the information that you received from the complainant, who in this case is her mother, Candace.
Right. But again, you also have to. My mindset, guys, is I'm also sitting there thinking, what if? So let's not. We got the business at hand, but let's not forget that if this goes south and this does turn criminal, why not look at both avenues at the same time? Let's go out and start looking. Here's my thing, is that for every second of every minute of every hour of every day, we are losing vital evidence either on that body or through other means.
Right.
And that's what's so important, is to get as many people on the ground and find this individual so you can preserve that evidence.
You know, and I thought what was really impressive about the 238 plus remains or folks recovered and brought back to their families, I want to just emphasize, never in one of these cases was the evidence compromised.
Absolutely not.
Meaning was a crime scene tainted by someone inadvertently picking up a recovered body part or moving a decedent. These guys are professionals and they know what they're doing. I tip my cap to you big time, because these things are just so important. And I want to just also ask you, and I don't know if you have this information, because here's another thing that's swirling amongst true crime enthusiasts. And I love my true crime enthusiasts. I love the people who pick your brain apart, that ask you the tough questions. There's a thing swirling about Summer Wells, that she was a special needs, that she was nonverbal, and that she was a special needs. This is just a thing that I've heard people speaking about. I have not heard law enforcement once, because when an Amber Alert goes out, or if there's a search, Bill and I know from searching for thousands upon thousands of missings, if it's a special category, we call it special category. If it's somebody with, that's Alzheimer's, that's nonverbal, that's autism, it is immediately transmitted, because they want everybody to know. Do you have anything on that, Dave, for us?
No, I never once heard that girl had any kind of special needs, or once. No, there was nothing to my knowledge. No.
Right.
It was never conveyed to me.
Law enforcement would convey that to you, obviously, because you've done hundreds of these searches, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, that would be. Well, I just did a case 3 years ago down in Tennessee. Baby Joe Daniels. He was a special needs. He was 5 years old. Supposedly the father did it. He confessed to doing it. He just got charged with it. We still have yet to recover his body. But he was an autistic child. And 9 times out of 10, when an autistic, and you guys can probably confirm this also, is when you have an autistic child, they always gravitate towards water. Always. There's no fear.
Yeah.
And there was two ponds, good sized ponds by this child's house, and I think that he would have went to that, and it never did. So, but no, it was never conveyed to us that this child had any kind of special needs.
Yeah, thank you for that, Dave. I just had to ask you, because so many people send me messages about it, and I see people speaking about it. And there could be some kind of neglect that was going on. We don't know what happened inside that home, but it would be something clinical from a professional, a doctor, where it was certified that this person suffers from X, Y, and Z. Law enforcement would know that and would be transmitting that on the Amber Alert, transmitting it on the missing persons report, and transmitting it to folks like yourself. Captain Tim Coop from the rescue squad over in Hawkins County reached out. You reached out to him. He gave you the blessing and said, hey, we want a fresh set of eyes. We want fresh people to look at. And he actually said it in his last press conference, I think June 27th. We're going to shut this thing down, but we want to get fresh eyes and fresh people in here. So I think it's a good idea. Can you talk a little bit about, I know we can't talk about location, but I want you to talk to the audience about the importance of keeping this close to the chest and not speaking about it. If somebody sees your organization, which has the markings all over the vehicles, you guys are high profile for safety reasons. Just speak to my audience about the importance of what you spoke about in that news piece and keeping this investigation true.
And again, this is an ongoing investigation that people have to understand on social media. And again, it's very pertinent, is because we really don't know at this point in time who all the players of the game are. So we don't know if it's the family. It could be an outsider. And if they're watching all the social media and they're putting up to maps and where they were here and they were there, and this individual is watching all of this, all you're doing is enabling this individual to hide something that we're so desperately trying to find. So we have to have it to where it's like, look, we know that people mean well, and they want to say, well, they've seen this over here and they've seen this over there, but refrain from doing that, only for the simple reason that we don't want a potential perpetrator to get off on this and for Summer never to be found because of somebody wanting to sit there and play armchair quarterback or detective or however you want to do it. But you have to sit there and think a little bit outside of the box and refrain from, okay, we've seen him over there, but if you want to say that you've seen me in Kingsport or Rogersville, so be it. But I don't want anybody to, if they see me on a country road or a specific piece of property, I can't have somebody telling this on social media. Unfortunately, I can't stop it, but I would think that common sense would tell people, hey, we don't want to give, if this is a killer's case, we don't want to give them the upper hand by coming back and moving this individual or some piece of pertinent evidence to a spot that where we mark it off never to be gone back to again until somebody decides to go back and either build a house or, this, that, or the other. So it's very pertinent that, we are going to be visible. We are going to be out there. All we ask is that just don't put out where we are at the time that you see us, and everything will be fine.
It's an important message because we are all in this together. We want to work together as a team. And Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, you need the public to work in cognizant, like together with you. We need cooperative, everyone's got to cooperate here. And if we have friction going on, it's going to hurt who?
Yeah, it's going to hurt Summer.
Right, Summer Wells.
Yeah, that's all you're hurting. You're not hurting me. You're not hurting anybody except the individual that we're looking for. So, and I'm not saying, if you want to help out, go check your property. Go check your deer stands, your field cams.
Right, trail
Those are the kind of things that you can sit there and go back and check. And if you see something that doesn't look right, then contact local authorities and let them decipher it. But don't just sit there and some of the tips that come in is just, don't, anything could be pertinent. I mean, nothing should be taken off. But I mean, realistically, think about it before. Does this make sense before I call it in?
Right. Yeah, I reached out to Tim Coop and I sent him a message. I told him I was going to interview you tonight, and I gave him the invite, but I know he is too busy with this stuff. I didn't expect him to come, but I just wanted to give him the opportunity because I thought with both of you here, it might have increased the message. But just hearing you say it is enough because you're so well respected. The organization, the search and rescue operation that you guys conduct is top notch, and the numbers don't lie. You guys have brought so much closure to so many families. And like you said, you brought families together that are now working together with you. Families of victims are now working with you because they see the excellent work that you've done. Bill, I know you're chomping at the bit. You got anything to put in here?
I don't know. Everyone has heard about this red Toyota pickup truck that allegedly was seen in the area around June 15th. Is there any further information on that, or can you verify that it's still being looked at, or has it been eliminated? What's the investigative talk with that?
From what I understand, they're still looking for that red Toyota.
And it was alleged by a neighbor locally in that local area, like one of the surrounding neighbors. They didn't specify who, and I would imagine that they want to keep that close because they don't want that person being harassed or people going to him and asking him questions, him or her. But whatever the case may be, and say, hey, if you see something like this, call it into the 1-800-TBI find tip line. And I will link that also down in the description. And I'm going to link the Civis Bank for donations for the reward money. We have donated $500 from the Duty Ron Crime Time channel to that reward early on. And I had the college student who, 19 years old, sophomore in college in East Tennessee, he put up $2,000 of his own dollars. I had him here on the show. It's just a way of showing, humanity coming together and putting our resources together to find a common goal, and that's find Summer Wells. Tim Miller, the founder of Equasearch. I just want to talk a little bit about him. I know he had a health scare. I want a lot of the folks here have been asking questions about him. Is he okay? I spoke to his office today, and they said he's on the mend and he's recovered. He's a tough cookie. Can you give the audience a little bit about the founder, this young man? I'll call him a young man. He's got the vigor more than what I have. So talk a little bit about him.
I met Tim Miller back in, and I didn't look to get into this, but just a little bit about how I got into this was I was on vacation down in Florida when Kaylee Anthony went missing. And, I went to the house just as a busybody just to see what it was all about. And when I sat across the house, across the street from the house, and watched George Anthony clean the cooler for 45 minutes while his granddaughter was missing. Not a hair out of place, white T-shirts that was not a wrinkle in it, pair of cargo shorts. And I'm sitting there thinking, how in the hell can a guy that's missing his granddaughter, I would be disheveled and I would be beating the woods down.
Right.
And it just kind of set me off a little bit. And when I went back to the hotel room that night and I watched Nancy Grace and Tim Miller was on there, and he just captivated me with his story about his own daughter. And the next morning, I said, you know what, I got to do something to help bring Kaylee home. And I contacted Tim's office. I said, hey, what can I do? I flew down there on my own dime the following week. I met with Tim. I met people from all over the damn country. And so my story began. And with Tim Miller, it started with his daughter. She was part of the Texas killing fields, and the man has a story, but yet he knew that he didn't want to be like, nobody helped him, and he didn't want another family to be like him and never be helped. So that's why he started this organization back in 2012. So this was 2008, 2012. I met with Tim, and he says, I can't keep flying all over the country. I'm going to need somebody to kind of take a little bit of this off of me. I stepped up to the plate and I created the Ohio chapter, and then the Ohio chapter turned out to be the Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky. And now I've been in 18 different states. I've been on probably 10 to 12 high profile cases. And I don't know how the hell my geography book must have been way off back when I went to school, because I don't know how the hell Alabama, Mississippi, and Arkansas fits into the Midwest. Still can't figure that out. I'm part of that also. So I've got basically everything east of the Mississippi.
Sorry, gentlemen. I know the stream kept going, but I lost my Wi-Fi. Something happened. There was a power surge at my house. So I'm glad that you guys are still on. So I'm back.
All right.
I thought you went out. I thought you went out for a pizza or something.
Everything just shut off and restarted. I lost my Wi-Fi, which is amazing because you guys were still going. So thank you for taking over, Bill.
I was just listening. He was still talking.
Oh, okay. Shoot. Thank you, Dave. I'm sorry if I cut.
But getting back to Tim, the man, he always wants to get out, but then the phone rings. He has a special gift for doing what he's doing, and nothing really gets the man down. Now, he has had some health issues. He'll go down for a little bit, but he comes back twice as strong. So the man is an icon in himself, and I look up to. Matter of fact, on my back, I believe in Tim Miller so much that I tattooed "Lost is not alone" with his daughter's name on my back. So that's what that man means to me.
Well, you know what? I'm so glad that I brought it up.
Let me chat while I roll this a minute. I know you can make it. Hi, BB. Oh, you must not be busy. Sorry I didn't call you. I was listening to Tiffany and then I dozed off a little bit and got up and just went straight live. That's my husband, for everybody that doesn't know. He's at work. I forget what I was going to say. Oh, well. All right. Let me put this back on. I'll make you a cup. No, I could pour the cup. It's making the pot of coffee. I have 2 pots of coffee. One's made. I got to go in there and just pour it into my little pot and bring it in here and put it on my little thing. Little short. That's all. When I go to pour the coffee in the other pot, I'm too short on the thing it sits on and it spills everywhere. It's such a pain in the ass. Sometimes being short just really sucks. Another thing I can't do is get the clothes out of my washing machine. I have to climb in the motherfucker. So Earl does our laundry. Isn't he the best husband? We got this fancy LG washer. When we were getting all that COVID stuff, and the thing's like a fucking giant. It's huge. Oh, yeah. I can't have the sugar. I use Splenda. So what I do is I'll put like a little bit of, I have pumpkin pie seasoning. in the fall time I like. And I like some cinnamon. I buy the skinnies, the flavor skinny stuff, the oil. I love coffee. I drink a lot of coffee. I gotta quit. It's not good for my heart. Oh, my daughter. I remember I was in the hospital one time and they tried to give me decaf. Man, I threw a fit. I was like, you are not, that's like drinking non alcoholic beer. Who the hell wants decaf coffee? I don't drink coffee because of the flavor of it. I drink coffee because I need the fucking energy and my ass is getting old. Hey, Suzette, how are you today? Yeah, there you go. The flavored syrups are sugar free. I buy those a lot. My daughter just had, what was that flavor Earl Malaya just had? That shit was really good. We got to get that again. All right, guys. Let me put this back on because I forget what I was going to say. Thank you all for being here and chatting. I didn't really I never do good hellos. I don't mean not to. I just like to jump into it. You guys all know I chat. I want to go over so much stuff from this week. I've had a hard time keeping up and making content. I swear, like 12, 13 videos started that I haven't finished because something's always happening more. This prayer garden shit, I need to catch up on. I went into Andrew's today. Because they were all screaming and angry. So I just jumped on panel to smoke one and join in on the conversation and try to calm it down a little bit. As being nice this afternoon, but I don't really know what's going on with prayer garden. I've had a hard time. Oh yeah, she got that Twix. He got that. My husband got this Twix sugar. I can't have it because I'm diabetic. He loves it. He's making cold coffees every day for himself and pouring it in by the pound. He's gonna end up in the hospital. Tonight's been cray on YouTube. I only watched Tiffany. I'll have to that's what I'm saying. I'm having a hard time catching up. It's why I haven't been live or put out a whole lot of videos because I can't get one damn finished. I don't know what the hell's going on over here. I can't even keep up. All right. Let me put this back on.
Up. I have it here on my notepad to cover all of these grounds, and he went through such a health scare recently and everybody was so worried about him. I had to talk about this, and I'm so glad that he's on the mend. Let me quickly say thank you to all the super chatters. Natman, there was another $100 super chat that came in. So many of you folks have been sending in super chats, and I'm going to be paying this all forward. Every super chat that's come in tonight is going to go directly to Dave and his organization. They're going to be working hard this weekend. How many days will you be there, or is that classified information?
No, I'm going to leave Thursday after work. I want to get on the ground on Friday and really do some heavy recon, get my mapping all together. So on Saturday morning, I'm ready to rock and roll, and I don't waste any daylight. And then we'll probably if we don't get everything done that we want to succeed with, then we'll go into Sunday. We're all volunteers. I mean, we all have families, we all have jobs. We don't get paid for this. And these people sacrifice their weekends for me and for this and for whatever family that we're looking for. And God love them. I mean, their heart is in the right spot. And thank God that there's more good in this world than there is evil, guys. I'm a firm believer. I've seen it. You got people that come from miles and states away to help somebody that they know nothing about or nobody knows.
Yeah.
So that shows you the kind of individuals and
I'm going to say something too to back up what Dave is talking about here. I reached out to him today. I called him, and he didn't answer my call, but he called me back because us folks, we in the law enforcement and in the field he's in, he gets so many calls. If he doesn't recognize the call, he's like, I'll get back to that person. So he got back to me after I left the message, but we both were sitting at work, me and him. So, here we are at nighttime. He's given us some of his time. And I got to say a special thank you to you for coming aboard here and, coming on to the Crime Time with Duty Ron family and giving all of the viewers, there's over 2,200 here watching in the chat, a look into what Equasearch has to offer to families. And I want to say this is I covered a case, and I'm still covering right now, two little boys from California City, Orrin and Orson West. They went missing on December 21st of 2020. I'm sure that you know the name, you've heard of it. Those boys, again, vanished without a trace. They said outside of their backyard, outside of the Mojave Desert. And Dave, we have no answers going in 200 plus days of these boys being missing. I would say, I know you need to be reached out by the family or law enforcement. I say to that family, this is a great resource here to reach out to. Do you have anything for them out there in California City and Bakersfield, Fort Warren and Orson West? Any advice, anything that they can do to get maybe some attention on these boys for search?
Just never give up and just keep pounding.
Pages of this. I'm only condensing it to one page. So
I still got 27% on my phone. So how long do you want me to talk? I'm right here with you.
I love it, brother. Thank you so much, Dave. You're the best. Captain Tim Cook, we already know that you have talked with him. He is the search and rescue guy, right? Sheriff Ronnie Lawson, any communication with him about the case? Not that I want you to speak about it, but any communication from Sheriff?
No, what I did was I reached out to, because there was a chain of command.
Right.
And again, Ronnie has a lot on his plate.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I reached out to Coop and I said, this is where I want to go. This is what I want to do. So we have a checks and balances that he will get mapping when I'm finished, and then he will share that with TBI, FBI, and also with Ronnie, with his sheriff's department. And let me say, Ronnie has got some fantastic individuals on that. It's a small department, but I'll tell you what, boy, did they sit there and welcome us with open arms.
That's awesome. And a small town sheriff like that is not used to seeing a case on this grand stage like this. You got an idea of how many members? Because I've looked high and low and I can't find anything about, do they have 20, 30 sheriffs, or is it smaller? Is it like 3?
Lucky for us, Duty Ron timestamps his stuff. So when we're not talking about summer, I should remember to skip you guys. So remind me. He's a very smart man. And Elizabeth, and thank you for quitting the trolling. But I'm praying the best for him. I said it earlier and I want to say it again. I hope his fight with cancer is a easy one. I pray that he goes into remission, and I want him to know he has a ton of support. I appreciate his service. What he did during 9/11 is only something a hero could do. And I want him to know that I appreciate that. And I am sharing his content too. So please go sub up to Duty Ron and let me share this video again. We're not done. I want to move on to the bigger ones, but I want to start at the beginning. I think it's important to hear it all, because the reason I paused was you heard him just say that he worked well with Ronnie Lawson at the beginning, and he spoke highly about Ronnie Lawson. That changes, I believe. Although then he says he does have a better, their relationship and the whole Equasearch thing is extremely confusing to me. What happened? I don't think it's fair that what happened. I think that people caused a lot of problems for Equasearch. And like I said, I think Equasearch is a highly recognizable search team. It's not a Ryan Finds Truth with a fucking duct taped fucking drone or whatever. You know what I mean? They have the experience. They have searched oceans and mountains and terrain that we would never see, spots they would never see. They swam with the sharks looking for Natalie Holloway. People need to understand that. They are very professional. I have personally in the past made donations to them in all the years that I have been following them since the very early 2000s. I started following with Dave Miller, Yeah, a girl who in Texas killed a field victim. Yep. Tim Miller, not Dave Miller. I said his name wrong. Tim Miller. Right. They aren't just some group. They're renowned. They're known. And Andy Bernard throwing a fit pisses me the fuck off. Beyond any belief. It pisses me off that he did that. It shows me that he had no care for Summer. He had no feelings. and he didn't care whether they found her or not. If it was just he was growing some plants and wanted to burn them down and all this other shit, your weed was more important than a missing child. And you got Gavel and Karama over there simping for this motherfucker. I like Jody Sue more than I like Andy, and I don't like Jody Sue at all. You all know that. I do like Jody. I wish Jody the best. However, I think she covers for Andy. I think it's deep, and I don't know why. I do believe she is a survivor of domestic abuse. Yesterday, you heard Tiffany go on. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to get off fucking track here. I knew this was going to happen. I'm trying not to. Yesterday, you hear Tiffany talk about how Andy hurt Jody Sue, her face bleeding, splattered everywhere. But then she goes on to say, man, she defends Benny. It bothers me. He's the same thing as Andy, in my opinion. It's on court record. It pissed me off today. I really appreciate Tiffany going out there and doing what she's doing. I'm so happy to see her back covering Summer's case, because if there's anybody I agree with the most, it is Benny and Tiffany. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I have the same kind of theories that they do, except for they have done things in there of the things they're accusing of. They have been involved in it. Like, you hear Tiffany say, oh, well, he sent them money and he sent them computers and he sent them this and he did that. He was just supposed to go down and drone. Isn't that right, Adrian? Isn't that right, Gavel? Well, why the fuck is he sending people he just met those items if he's not involved? Tiffany, you came in on Benny's side late in the game, and I think you're naive. That's what I think. I think you're naive. I think you don't understand how embedded Benny was with these people. Not just them, but Shay, Squall, which I was on White Boys the other day. I posted it on my community post. If any of y'all didn't see it, it was a really good conversation. He's going to try to set up a mock jury and have Squall and him come on. I told him I don't want to talk to him behind the scenes, so I'm hoping he'll let me know on a community post or in one of the chats if he was able to accomplish that, because I'll lay my evidence out. I don't even have to do much. All I have to do is go to my page. Text between JSB and Andy on that day. Yeah. Jewel Weed. Like, how do you just suddenly break up? Something happened. I don't know. Like, something tells me Andy and Jody Sue had nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? I feel like with them, it's all the money thing, but I think that Jody knows something. I do. She tells you, like, oh, I'm holding the missing pieces. And this isn't me attacking Jody Sue. This is me saying, hey, good. But then she causes distraction, like she's keeping people from something. Fred does the same thing. Andy does the same thing. The three of them do the same thing. And that bothers me. They've made Summer's case more about them three, those three locals, than they have Summer. They all come out here and talk shit on each other, but not, and they, pick and poke at each other. Put the blame here, put the blame here, put the blame there. What I don't hear is any blame being put on the parents, which is odd, right? That's number one. And number two, the other thing I don't hear is, man, it's just so frustrating. You guys know. Yeah, they both left their women quickly. I feel like somebody's covering something up or protecting someone or protecting crimes for other people in the area, because although I don't think Summer's case, one theory, a lot of theories lead to, I don't think Summer's case has anything to do with, productivity, I guess is what I want to say, business. I feel like whatever happened was an accident, but I think I think that it will uncover a lot of shit because somebody doesn't want to say things. And I think that there's crime in the area. We know there's crime in the area because they had one of the largest busts in America in that area to people connected to that area. That doesn't mean I want to dig all of it up. I mean, I'll talk about what's out there publicly. You know what I mean? When it comes to summer, I'll say things. When I bring up the Dykes trucking, it isn't because I'm accusing them of taking summer. It's because I know Candace is friends with them people and knows them. I know that Jeremy Pell got online and said she spoke to my wife that day. I know that they're part of Dykes. I know that that was on Candace's path that day. Did she stop? Is it a possibility Skelton followed her car from across the street to her house and waited in the woods? I don't, just because I bring somebody up, it doesn't mean that I think that they're guilty. It means that it's a piece of the puzzle to figure out like the lifestyle that these people live, to try to figure out what happened this summer, if that makes sense. Do you think that's why Andy had over there on Simpson Road? I don't think it was weed. To me, that fire looked like a structure. It didn't look like a weed fire. The one on the 19th, 20th that happened. And I have some thoughts. That's why I'm covering Dave Radar and Equasearch. This is going to go into more than just Andy. I have some thoughts on all of it. And I also want to check police off the cuff and see if, I guess I'm going to make this a new summer project. I got to get to my Danny stuff. I have been ignoring his mother for days, and I don't mean to. Like, I've just been, my grandbabies, I finally got to see a couple of them yesterday. It's been weeks. You guys know my son did something real fucking stupid yesterday. Let me tell you what this little fucker did. Since we're sitting here talking, they call. Now, y'all know, I've been told you, my ex-daughter-in-law. Hold on, guys. Is angry at me because she showed up at my house when I called the police on my son because she was cheating on him. Here, I'll just tell you the story. She was cheating on him with his best friend. And he found out. She left. They snuck out in the middle of the night, and one of the kids woke up and was crying. Okay? Now, yeah, I'm giving you some gossip about my life so they could go spread it and talk about how much of a horrible person everybody is. This is how I get my frustrations out. Okay? So this is the story. My son caught his girlfriend cheating with his best friend. His best friend has a baby to this girl who's my son's ex's best friend. So they broke up two families. Okay? This fucking bitch. I don't care. And that's not an opinion. That's truth. This whore, my son's ex, breaks up two families. Then we find out she's selling feet on OnlyFans. Not a big deal. You want to sell your feet? It's extra money, whatever, whore bag, right? So she leaves me with the children for 3 months. My son's going crazy. He's done damn lost his mind, drinking every fucking day. That's what I'm saying, Lady R. I think it's more. So he starts drinking every day, and they leave me with the kids for 3 months, which is fine. You guys all seen. You seen the chaotic anxiety mess that I was having, right? And my son comes in one night drunk, and out of nowhere just flips one of my tables, starts throwing a fit. His heart's broken. He's hurting. This is the first heartbreak he's ever had. He got 2 babies to this baby, and a baby he's been raising since he was 16 that doesn't belong to him. And she's just like gone, left us with all 3 of them, one that doesn't even belong to him. So, no, you can make light out of it because I'm at that point now. This shit's just fucking getting ridiculous. She's weaponizing the children. is what she's doing. She's causing a lot of problems, and it's causing a lot of chaos in our life. And she is using the children as leverage. Like, you can't see the kids. Or today the new thing was, if he wanted to keep the kids for the weekend, he had to sign a paper, and the paper said that the kids aren't allowed around your mother. What? Or the kids aren't, no, they're allowed here, but I'm not allowed to babysit them. Like, if he wants to go to the store to get an iced tea or something, the kids have to go in the car with him if he wants to go to the store. No, I just kept your kids for 3 fucking months and you didn't give a care. You didn't even call and check on them. You're all getting fucked up every damn night selling your ass on fucking OnlyFans. Cheating on my son. And because you're mad because you walked in here the night I called the police on my son, and they called CYF because of her behavior. CYF came and I told them the fucking truth. I'm happy they're involved. But now she's playing these leverage fucking games, so we're going to go to court. That's where that's going to go. I wish that woman like her knew my story, shaking my fucking head. Right, mine too, lady. Or mine is that my son's father didn't even want, my son's father didn't really want much to do with them. He was sick, he was a junkie, and he passed away, and my kids didn't know him, and they suffer every day. I would never keep kids from her, but they're not my kids, they're my grandkids, and it's my son's shit to deal with, but I'm about sick of it. So what's going to happen is I'm going to end up going to court and getting custody of these kids if it keeps on, because I've had enough. She's playing these games. It's Christmas time. It's destroyed our whole Christmas. I don't know whether to buy Christmas gifts for these kids or not. I don't know if I'm going to see them. Every time we're supposed to have them, she does shit like this. Like, it's just too much. There's something fucking wrong with her. Them kids have lived with me their whole life. You know what I mean? Just about. She's causing pain for the children. Oh, but let me tell you what my dumbass son did yesterday. So the reason she wanted him to sign all this shit is because the school calls her, his stepdaughter, well, the one we raised, is sick at school. She has a bellyache and she throws up. So Bailey goes to pick her up. But who does he take with him? An ex-girlfriend from high school. He takes the girl to her mom's house. He did it on purpose, and she threw a big fucking pissing fit, and now we don't have the kids. They're both dumb as fuck, in my opinion. And that's my own kid. I love them. Go ahead. Go attack me. I gave my story. I need to get it out. I'm frustrated, and I'm pissed off, and I want to see my grandbabies, and these kids need to grow the fuck up. Yeah, lady, or like, what an idiot. He goes and takes his ex-girlfriend from high school that he knows this ex hates to her mother's house with the grandbaby that ain't really his. But why ain't this bitch answering her phone to pick the kids up at school? Whatever. I said too much. Yeah, it's a roller coaster, Joey. That's exactly what it is. And I'm at my wit's end, and it's a lot of reason why I haven't been here, and like, it's causing great stress. And it's the holidays, and it's breaking my heart. I miss my babies. Yeah, I'm mad. That's right, Lady R. It's exactly what it is. I'm angry. It's too much. Yeah, he is grounded. All I wanted to do was see the grandkids this weekend. He didn't have to go piss her off. You know what I mean? Like, he did it on purpose. All right, let's put Duty Ron on. I'm way over here bullshitting about my own life. You guys know how I do. I don't hold nothing back. I have nothing to hide. And if them people want to make fun of somebody for being a real person and coming out with their own personal stories and issues, they could kiss my whole ass while they fake who they are. And he didn't do anything. He just sent them a computer and money. Come on now. Now she's kissing Ziggy's ass. I can't believe my eyes in this fucking true crime world. Okay.
3,
I,
4?
I think that they're up around 30 to 40 from what I was told. So I think he's kind of. I mean, it's a small county.
It's Hawkins, yeah, Hawkins County.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 30 or 40, and you got so much ground to cover. It's a tough on taking. Anything from Leslie Earhart from the TBI or the lead detective that we saw in that piece? I'm talking about from when you guys were there the first time. Anything from them?
No. Again, we had, again, my main contact was through Coop and EMA, and then they would filter it into the investigation end of what we covered. So it was, like I said, it was a well-oiled machine, from, in all law enforcement agencies, the whole, everybody, the FBI, TBI, Hawkins County, they all sat down every single day and was communicating with each other what they had. So then we knew what the next step was going to do and how we were going to attack it.
I was very impressed with the question. Bill and I spoke about this before you showed up in the green room while we were preparing for the show. I was impressed by your answer to what Bill asked you. He asked about what was the structure of when you arrived on the set the first time. Was it chaos? And I was very happy to hear that it was organized and things were put together, and they were outside of the church and they had the whole property there. I'm assuming you guys were over there, right, for debriefing and things of that nature, no?
Yeah, we were. That was our command center. That was the heartbeat of what we were doing. That was what we worked out of. It was small, but it accommodated everything that we could ever ask for. The whole county down there, the cell phone service was horrible.
Wow.
We had very little communication. Matter of fact, I didn't even have in some parts of going to the command center. I didn't even have satellite radio. That's how remote we were. They actually brought in portable boosters from AT&T and Verizon, portable boosters, and sat it on the command center's parking lot in order for us to just be able to kind of get out a little bit further.
Wow.
So that's how remote that we truly were.
So you were working UHF or VHF? VHF is for short distance. You were using probably UHF to communicate.
Yeah, we were using police and fire channels,
Right.
and then we would go to the private channels, and so media couldn't, in case something was found, we had checks and balances as far as codes that we used.
Excellent. I want to say thank you to everyone. Also to the continuation of the super chat, retired Sergeant Melinda, the interview room, Chris McDonough, who else? Suzanne Fortier, $50. Marie, thank you. God bless you all, and bring Summer home. Thank you, Gretchen W. Blue, for the $20 super chat. I'm trying to get all of these out of the way. Above and Beyond Ancestors Greetings says $100 super chat for the search team. Thank you for all you do and do for the voiceless. Amen to that. SCS, it's the letter S and then SEE sends in $24.99. Thank you so much for that generous donation. Another one coming in right now, La D Doodles says $50 super chat and stickers for this live is being donated to Equasearch in their efforts for recovering Summer. Correct. That is correct. If not, how can I donate? You can donate directly to them. Here, super chats, 30% gets taken by YouTube. If you go directly down in the description, I'm going to link their PayPal. Can I get that off your Facebook, Dave, or is it on your?
Yeah, we're under the Equasearch Midwest. That's our Facebook and also our website.
And the PayPal link will be in there, right?
That is correct.
Okay, folks, I will link that here down below in the description. The direct official PayPal for David's organization. I encourage you all to go over there. I'm going to be putting up a big donation tonight. I got to do some calculations, but whatever it is, I'm going to throw in an extra $250.
So I left that and didn't skip that and wanted to show that because I want people to know that, yes, Duty Ron takes in a lot of money, but all of his money goes into donations. It's been proven. He sells them bracelets for Equasearch. If you guys want to go to his website and support them, I even say support Duty Ron during this hard time. Mimi Jean, you think so too? I think they're clouded. They're love struck. They're clouded by judgment because both of them women were way smarter before the men. I don't get it. They're like lovesick. Not that I ever really liked either of them, but I mean, I guess I did. I started watching with Tiffany and Libby and all of that. Ziggy came on the scene. She was pretending to be a college student with her laptop and glasses. And he's a real true crime channel. Yes, he does. He is. And he doesn't go like involve himself in the cases. He gives his true thoughts. He doesn't attack. Yep. I love Duty Ron. I always did. And he's even put me in my place one time, like, oh, you're a trauma channel. He don't like that shit. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that because that's what I like to watch. That's what I wanted to be, but these motherfuckers made me a trauma channel, so that's what the fuck I am now. Can't help it. Oh well, they pissed me off and they brought the real crystal out. Yeah, he's very straightforward. I love Duty Ron. That's the kind of channels I like to watch. Like with Lori Vallow, I love hidden true crime. You know what I mean? I like the channels that there's no nonsense. You get to get the information. You watch it in true Duty Ron on replays. Guys, speaking of Vallow, man, I can't believe it. She is going to represent herself. What the fuck? That bitch is crazier than crazy could be. That's going to be interesting. It's going to be like watching Daryl Brooks all over, but it's almost like victimizing the victims again. Charles deserves justice. I don't know if any of y'all watch that, but yeah, I wait a long time to share his stuff when I share it, and I don't share it too often. I love Duty Ron. I do. He's respectable. I do wish him luck. I hope he gets his shit together. Okay, let me put this back on. I have spent like an hour chatting instead of watching.
From my pocket as well to the Equasearch folks.
In my defense, it's been like a week or two since I've been on here, and I miss you guys very much.
Folks, and will you please, I know that cell service is bad, will you give me some updates on what you got after the weekend's over, like say Monday, Tuesday when you return? Will you come back and give us an update?
Absolutely. I would love to do that. That's only fair. And again, you're more than welcome. You've got my cell phone, Ron. If you want to call me on Saturday night, I can kind of give you an update. You're not going to bother me one bit. Love to hear from you.
Awesome.
So anytime that you want to chat with me, you just ring my number.
I appreciate that tremendously because we're trying to keep everybody that is got their heart in this case. We want to keep them with valid information, but we also want to keep you guys safe. And it's such an on taken that you don't need to be looking over your shoulder and worrying about, hey, the good things that I'm doing, is it now going to be going to on the wayside? So again, I'm going to emphasize here along with David Rader the information that if you're down there in the area of Rogersville, Tennessee, Hawkins County, wherever these folks are doing, if you see Equasearch, don't take screenshots of it. Don't post it onto social media, because if you're doing that, you're helping the bad guys. So I ask you, I beg you, actually, please hold it to yourself. Wait until they're done with their searching. And then at a later date, maybe in a month from now or whatever, if you want to post it and say, hey, they did a great job, that's okay. But for the time being, David is asking everybody to hold off on posting anything and any photos of these folks doing God's work on social media. Is that correct, Dave?
That is correct. I couldn't put it any better, Ron.
Excellent. And if you would do me a favor, when you see Coop, tell him the guy Duty Ron, he's a good guy that's been reaching out to him to get back to me and give me an interview. I want him to come on to talk.
I'm going to tell him you missed the boat.
Yeah.
He missed the boat on this one.
We had over 2,400 people live watching. There's still 2,200, 2,100 here in the chat. Bill, you have any final words for Dave? Because I got to let him go. He's probably.
Yeah, I just have one question, and maybe it's an unfair question, and if you don't want to answer it, that's fine. But gut feeling, you think you're going to recover Summer?
I pray to God that Bill. That's a tough question. If she's out there, I want to find her, and I want to do everything I possibly can. But then on the other hand, on the other end of the sword, you sit there and you think, well, if she was abducted or given away or whatever, and she's still walking amongst us, that would be the best case scenario. And the reason that I say things like that is because you have to look at J.C. Dugard after 29 years. You have to look at Elizabeth Smart after, 9 months. Anything's possible. We know where the hell this little girl isn't. I mean, we covered enough ground. We know where the hell she's not. Now we just have to keep expanding this circle until it doesn't make any more sense, if that makes any sense.
You know
But
something.
do I hope to recover her if she's out there? Yes, because I want to give it back. I want to give her back to the family.
Well,
I
David, you know
wanna give her
something.
back.
I think you answered that question much better than I thought you could have possibly answered. And you're right. If she could be recovered alive, you know, which there is always a possibility, but you know, in this case, we all know the facts, and as you said early on, it doesn't make sense.
No, I think if there's one or two people know exactly what happened that day and what they did with her, and I hope to God that, you know, again, that they would
Come forward if they come forward and
Just
tell the truth.
do it.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's the 1-800-TBI find tip line. You can leave an anonymous tip, or you can leave it on the email. I'll link the TBI's email and the 800 number where you can call and leave any kind of message. If you see something or if you know something, say something. Dave, I'm going to ask quickly in the chat, because I got to be fair to my folks who've donated quite a bit of money here tonight, and they are definitely sending a lot of great questions. If anybody has any questions in the chat, please send it through the chat. I will highlight it. It doesn't have to be super chat. You could just put some questions and I'll take a quick peek at it. Bill, if you want to maybe throw another question or two, if you have it at him, I know you don't have him in the box. This isn't an interview. You're not interviewing and interrogating this guy.
Look, I'm always big. I'm always big with instinct, and I know, Dave, you've done hundreds of these searches, so that's why I believe that your instinct is excellent. And to me, what you tell me instinctively, I will take as almost, you know, as God's word, you know, because I believe in instinct, you know. And someone just asked on the chat, and I think you said it before, that the dogs lost the scent at the end of the driveway. Isn't that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, that answers that question.
So again, that you can take that two ways. Is it when she originally left to go to the swimming hole? Is that why that dog? Here's my thing: is did she ever make it back home? So.
Damn it! I wanted to unmute it. I had that planned before I even went live. I didn't want you to hear the next part yet. Okay, the dog trail. I mean, the dog scent. You hear Dave Radar say that it hit at the bottom of the driveway. Now, I don't know if I showed it or it was a video I was putting together the other day. Cam has a video where the school bus is, where there's a path that comes up by the dog trail that it could veer off and go into the driveway. Actually, I think that it does, that there's a path there. So is it a possibility that if this wasn't a stranger abduction or an abduction, that they came up the dog trail or took Summer down a dog trail into the path of the school bus? They would have met, and it can get to the driveway. It would give you an understanding of how the scent could be in both of those spots. You can get through that, as far as I can see. I've never been there, but as far as I can see from videos, images, Tim Mullins and Dawn did a really good view of the dog trail. It looks like there would be a way, and we'll go over, where you could go down the dog trail and veer off and go into where behind the school bus, the opposite direction that takes you onto the driveway. So that's something to think about. I defined it and think it was someone who's, no, I don't think it's stranger. I don't either, but you know, you got to throw that in there because it is a possibility. And like I said earlier, is it a possibility someone like Skelton, Candace could have stopped to buy something? Is it a possibility Candace nodded off? Is it a possibility Summer was unwatched and went into the basement and out the basement door? Is it a possibility somebody did come in? It is a possibility. All of it is. None of us have the answers. But if there was a scent on that property and that is the direction it went, it would explain how it could get to both paths. I want to look at it with you guys one night. I've been meaning to do that for so long. I said so long ago I was going to go over that, and I never did. How many times you take a road trip and pass the road and literally say to yourself, I ain't going down there. Right. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't go down there. Even if it was, like, what reason would anybody have to go down there? There is none. Except for the drugs. And we know there were 2 houses on the road that sold, allegedly. I think Sunshine can definitely use them trills. Yeah, someone. I do too. And that's something that I've always said too, is like the people of that area, they grew up around there. They had them stomping grounds. I grew up in sort of like a little small town, Glassport. I told you guys, we knew everything, every alley, like we were badass fucking kids. We were down on the riverbanks building fires. We knew where to run when the police came. You know what I mean? Everybody in that area knows their area. They know their area. They know the land. They know all of it. Yep. Sure did, Lady R. He sure did. I want to go over that with you guys again one night too. I wish I had more of me. More computers, more lives. Okay, let's put Duty Ron back on. Just trying to give some commentary. I don't want to be copyright struck. Although I think Jody Sue's video, I should have turned the music off and that. Oh well.
I said the same thing.
So we know for a fact that she was alive somewhere between 2 and 2:30, according to the friend, because that's what time that this 15-year-old was dropped off. So we're going off of that she was at 2:30. She was still seen, and she was physically seen. So if there was nothing between that 2:30 mark and that 6:40 mark, did she even make it back home to say that that she walked away, or did something catastrophic happen after they dropped off this 15-year-old on the way to the house? So those are the kind of things that I'm looking at.
I said the same exact thing. I said I had doubts that she ever made it back to the house.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe between point A and point B. I mean, what's your guys' feeling, Bill and Ron? I mean, you guys have done the investigation into this side. Am I wrong on thinking some of the things that I'm thinking?
No, I think you're 100% correct. And one of my biggest questions was, what was the result of the interview of the 3 boys, of the brothers? Because they allegedly saw her walk down the stairs. So we don't know that.
Were they coerced?
Yes, that too. I would imagine, coming from where they're coming from, they're probably terrified of their parents.
Absolutely. I mean, look at the background of what they have. They put on this persona on. And again, I'm not saying that they're guilty or not guilty, but you have to call it the way you see it.
Right. And you're around this a lot. I mean, listen, this is part of what you do, right? So it's part of what Equasearch does. You're around victims and their families. You're around the families trying to find their loved ones. So you see this kind of almost as much as the police do, if not more, because you're working, searching. So you're in communication sometimes with these folks.
Right.
A good question came in from the interview room. Chris McDonough, he's a retired homicide detective from California, down by in San Diego. He says, what were the parents doing while the search was going on, if you know? That's for you, Dave.
To be honest with you, I really don't know what they were doing. But what struck me funny is that the following Monday after, for one, when I did see them, there was no emotions. That's number one. Number two is that there was the father went back to work on Monday. Now, who in the hell goes back to work when your 5-year-old daughter's missing?
I got crucified for saying that because I said it too. I said,
crucify me away, but I want somebody to sit there and tell me, if you have a 5-year-old kid and it's missing, could you physically go back to work?
No, I'd be with a bullhorn standing on top of the tallest structure, whether it's a mountaintop or up in a tree somewhere, calling a name out. And
absolutely,
I would be handing flyers out. But that's me, and that's you, that's Bill. No two act the same. But at the same time, when you have a 5-year-old, your flesh and blood that's not accounted for, I can't see, he made a statement on the media, oh, well, we got to get back to normal. We got to, to get our minds off of it. No, you're breathing, living, and every waking moment should be focused on this girl.
And finding your daughter, period.
Yeah. Yep.
Retired Sergeant Melinda sent in $100 super chat, maybe twice. I might have missed one. And we covered this already, but I'm going to bring it back up. She said, my super chat didn't come up with the question. Dave, how is Tim Miller? We just spoke about it. Tim is recovering at home. I had my internet issue where my Wi-Fi got banged off. My whole internet got banged off. It was a surge. And these guys were talking. So I didn't hear exactly what he said, but I know I talked to Angelina today over from his office. Am I getting her name right? Yeah, Angelina.
Yeah.
And she told me that he is a ball of fire, a ball of fire, essentially.
I think he's still out of the 9 lives. I think he's only used 6. So
That's a great one. Thank you, Sergeant Melinda, for putting that in. Let's see quickly. I don't care what anyone said. I would be in the woods. Okay, this is coming in from TJ Coffee 00600. 0600. I like that. She's a military girl. I don't care what anyone said. I would be in the woods, on the street, everywhere I could think of until my baby was found. That's coming from a woman. TJ Coffee 0600. So she takes her coffee at 0600 in the morning, guys. Thank you for that question. Here's another one, and we're going to wrap it up. Donald went back to work. Did he know Summer was coming home, David? Did he know Summer wasn't coming home, David? So that's a question to you. That's, you don't have the answer, but
well, I mean, I can't. I'm not in Donald's head, but again, I go back to common sense. Is that until I put eyes and I can hug and touch and squeeze and talk to my daughter, I'm not going back to work or doing nothing less than what I'm doing to sit there and bring this child home.
yeah, I think everybody concurs with what we're saying here. I'm trying to pick out some new questions because some of them are redundant. Okay, no. All right, I think we've done enough. I held you here an hour and 12 minutes, and your phone's probably ready to go. We'll
Still
have
got 21%. So
how much?
I still got 20%. So
we're good. All right, so then I won't wrap. I won't
you
wrap.
want to burn? I mean, unless you're tired of me and looking at
No,
my other phone.
I love you, brother, in the most manly way. I love you. I love what you're doing.
I appreciate it.
I'm telling you, listen, Bill and I served 20 plus years in the NYPD. We were at 9/11 when those buildings crumbled, when we were attacked by terrorists. We served and protected, and we're continuing to serve in our retirement. So,
and I'll tell you what, Ron, from my heart and from this organization, we do appreciate you and Bill. And on the back of my car, back of my truck, I have the thin blue line. I'll stand behind you guys 110% any day, anytime. I think you guys get a shit end of the stick. I don't understand why people put law enforcement down and give you so much grief when they really don't know the inner workings. And that's what pisses me off the most, is when these people say, well, they're not doing anything. Just because you're not in front of the camera and just because you're not on social media, that means that they are doing something that is trying to solve that problem and solve that case. So just because you don't see it doesn't mean that they're not doing anything. I've seen it firsthand. I can tell you from an outsider looking in, every single damn investigator that I have been around in 18 different states, from everybody except the damn Secret Service I've worked with, they do care. They do their job. It's just that it's behind the scenes. If they didn't do anything, shit wouldn't get done. It does get done.
Bingo.
Period.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I really do appreciate the support. I mean, watching and seeing folks with the blue line stickers on the back of their vehicles, that brings a little fuzziness to my heart. But hearing it from people is just a whole nother thing, and we're in this cancel culture right now with defunding the police and all this craziness. We need the police. We need folks like yourself who support the police. Your organization has a lot of police retirees that donate their time to
Absolutely.
searching for our missing loved ones. Not just kids, any human being that goes missing, they're out there giving their time. And that's a testament to the oath that they take to protect and serve the communities that they live in.
Absolutely. And they help one another. Here's a great thing is that I've worked on a couple of cases now, one in Alabama, that this guy is wonderful with cell phone technology. And all I have to do is call this man up, and he'll drop everything and say, hey Ron, can you get me what do you think about if I get you the cell phone things? Can you track these for me? He'll do it in a minute.
Yeah.
Not even a hiccup. I've got other detectives that I've worked with. Hey, Dave, seen you doing this. Great job. If you need anything, if I can get you any information, you just let me know. That's what this is all about. It's working hand in hand with each other. Period.
Dave, if you looked at the building collapse in Miami and you saw those rescue people from Israel come.
I could talk on that a little bit, but again, I paused it a little too late. Working hand in hand is very important. I just wanted to pause it there to say that the struggle, the anxiety on Dave Radar's face in this is noticeable. I can see it. I can see he felt some sort of tension. I don't know. Just something I see. But anyways, did you guys know I lived and grew up about 2 blocks from where that building fell. And the Jewish people came together to help there because Surfside's a very Jewish community. They're lovely people, and my prayers to this day still go out to the people that lived in them condos. That was freaking sad, man. I walked past those a million times in my life. I think his alibi is a fluke. I think he just so happened to see Tucker that day when he arrived. If you listen to what Dawn said about that day, I need to go back over. I forget things. I do need to listen to everything Dawn said about that day, too. It's like I go over it and then I'm going over 10,000 other things, and then you forget what they said by the time you get there. But I think that what Dawn said that day is important, too. Aw, thank you, Tic Tac. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to be here this week covering a lot of Dave Radar. He did quite a few with Equasearch, and you can see the changes. Like, you can see what happens. And I like when Twyla comes up and talks. I think Police Off the Cuff actually had them on a couple times, so I'm going to check that out. And actually, something else I want to go over that I had mentioned earlier is Trevor Lee was on Duty Ron's twice. So I want to go over those as well. So I think that's what we're going to work on this week. I'm going to take some time from trying to make videos because it's getting nowhere. Y'all are moving too fast. That way, if something's going on, I could just come up here and talk about it, like Tiffany Marie and her. They sent them money in computers. I couldn't believe it. Her live was so good up until that point. And I was like, okay, here we go. Here comes the Benny simping. She doesn't explain anything for Benny. You know they're talking. When she says, oh, I talked to somebody, we were brainstorming, you know it's fucking Benny. You know, Benny come into her chat last night because Chase and Truth or whatever. And then, oh, Benny says that. Hee hee hee. Tiffany, you got to quit schoolgirling. You're making an ass out of yourself. You really are, in my opinion. And like I said, you all know I don't disagree with everything Benny says. However, I think the dude's a fucking dickhead. Jenna has shown a text between her and Candace leaving a lot of room to believe Dawn was there that day. I gotta see, I never really covered Jenna because I felt like at the beginning of this, you know how I explain like Prayer Garden brings all these weirdos up on her panel that you don't expect to hear from or see, like people from Dawn's past 40 years ago and things like that. Well, I kind of felt like at that point Ziggy was doing the same thing because she had Prayer Garden and Jenna up there. And then I felt like at some point Jenna was being attacked. And I didn't quite understand because, you know, as a creator, and those of you that are in here that are creators, you know, you don't have all the time in the world to pay attention to everybody's lives. And back then, Summer's case was moving. Like, it was new information every minute of every hour. Something was changing. And it was hard to keep up. I have a hard time. I am diagnosed with ADHD. That might be part of my problem, but I have a hard time keeping up with all the different things. So I kind of get tunnel vision on one or two subjects, and I try to stick with that so that I don't confuse myself. And if it connects, it connects. I always looked at other creators who were covering those other people when I needed to catch up. You know what I mean? So, but with Jenna, I just really didn't have much interest. I felt like she was being bullied, her and her husband in that hotel. They were staying there or something. Like, I know bits and pieces, but I don't know everything. However, you know, when I really came back and started bringing my channel back to life a few months ago, I started with listening to the psychic stuff, and it dawned on me that Jenna was the one that called in the tip. And that came from Benny. That's what I mean. Benny is a wealth of information. I don't dislike Benny when it comes to everything. I don't disagree with everything Benny has done. However, I feel Benny has also involved himself, if not more than anybody else, when it comes to the Tim Mullen and the hiring of the We Can Bring You Hope and the passing around of computers. Right now, at this moment, sort of in a way, and I'm probably wrong, it's just a feeling I get. I don't know how many of you know, if you heard tonight Tiffany snicker about keep thinking maybe Benny will be here soon. He is going to be here soon. He has court coming up in a week or two. Okay? It might be January, the beginning of January. Benny has been good. He hasn't gotten any trouble. Benny's going to be back. That's why Tiffany's here. They're preparing. And right now I feel that she is trying to, by taking sides with Ziggy, derail me because I have been so cruel to them. That's not going to derail me. I'm staying on the same path as you guys can see. We're going to continue with Duty Ron, and we're going to look at the facts, and we're going to conversate about them with speculation. I'm not going nowhere. Can't wait for you to come back, Benny. You're my favorite troll. Okay. That's all on that. In my opinion, I missed she was bullied and she's a B word. Yes, there you go. I don't know much. Right. Just keep doing. You don't get distracted. I'm not. I'm on a path, guys. You guys can see I'm trying to show things that are a little more credible. Things that are a little more, like, I don't want to show you the drama all the time, although the drama comes into it because you have neighbors like Andy Bernard who are telling Equasearch, get the fuck out of here. Fighting with his wife, scaring his daughter while Equasearch is there searching. That's concerning to me. You have Dawn going to question him about something. And you hear Tiffany saying, Nana carrying a pew-pew around, right? Like, them are them people. That's what they do down there. You have to look at Andy's past charges to figure out exactly what kind of people he associates with. And why the fuck are they all here trying to cause diversion and distraction? I don't know those answers. All I know is I can point the shit out. There's something fucking wrong with it. Oh, I almost blocked you, Lady R. I didn't mean to. Thank God. Whew. The men do and the women know. Yep. Yeah, Ziggy is unbelievable as a creator. How do you go marry a suspect? Like, how do you even allow yourself to get that close? Like Benny and Tiffany, I can see they're two creators that have, collaborated, hated each other, loved each other. Tiffany is just swinging off of his, what, like whipped, woof, bam, But Ziggy, there's no excuse for allowing yourself to even get that close to somebody who's considered a suspect when you are a creator. That's what angers me about Ziggy. I was cool with Ziggy. When I came out gunning, it was when she married him. Y'all can go back and see it in my lives. People were like, oh, I'm happy for them. I'm not fucking happy for them. I want Summer found. I don't think any of them deserve happiness right now while Summer's missing off of Summer's name. Not that type of happiness. Her scent was on his truck, according to him. It angers me. There's no simping coming from me for Andy or Fred. That's just like Jody Sue. She tells you how bad of a man he is. Is it just that Jody Sue has this mentality from his abuse to still defend him when she knows he can go to prison forever? Could that be a possibility? I've had enough of the games. I want to listen to people who are credible, who have good information, who can feed my brain better information, and where we can get down to what really happened. I want to know why Andy took these people out of the search and wouldn't let them search his property. I want to know why his daughter was subjected to the abuse, again, of her mother, of him screaming, while the brother's saying, shh, as she walks in on a conversation about Equasearch. You see, that's about Summer. That's where your domestic violence comes in, about Summer. I've had enough of the games from these fucking people on here. Right. And if you don't like someone's content, that's it. Don't watch it. Truth is I like a lot of their content. I think a lot of them have a lot to say. I think that there is clues in everything they say, or there's something we can cover or conversate about. Maybe it doesn't lead to Summer. But I don't think that you have to be mean and nasty to one another. I don't think you have to dox people. I don't think you have to go drive past people's homes. I just prefer to listen to more intelligent people. So we're going to continue on with Duty Ron. Hey, Act Right. Okay. And Benny, I'm waiting. I've been known when you get out. I just got to look at the exact date. But it's very, very soon.
They were sleeping on the ground at night.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a selfless person, and they're all cut out of the same cloth. These people, you know.
And it reminds me of our World Trade Center, where we were sleeping on grates. We were sleeping in the stock exchange, and it was just all World Trade Center throughout.
I cannot even imagine. I can't even sit there and think of how that must have been. I watch it. I rewatch it. But you guys lived this. You lived it. You experienced it.
I'll give you an idea of what the insanity was. 11 p.m. the night of the attack. Okay, everything was down. Everything was, dark. I walked out of the stock exchange after fully washing my face off, like for the 20th time, in full uniform. And I walked out and I saw like an Abrams tank coming down past the stock exchange, an army tank. I was like, and fire department trucks were still burning. The building was still burning. The rubble and debris was 200 feet high. You couldn't even get close to the site because the heat was so hot. So that's about all I'll go into. And I'll say the collapse in Miami brought back some really horrible memories for me. And I didn't even cover it because I didn't even have the drive to cover it. It just sunk me when I saw it because it just made me think of the World Trade Center. Lisa Lee puts up a great question, and I wanted to ask you this. It was one of my questions on my notepad. So thank you, Lisa Lee, for the question. Did he mention why the brothers are still in the home? So I wanted to ask you, Dave, is it your, you work with so many families, okay? A 5-year-old kid goes missing, and there's 3 other children there, aging from, young to young teenage, or not even teenage, up to 11 or 12. Would it be safe to say, for argument's sake and for safety, if you don't know what happened to this missing child definitively, removing those children for safety? Have you seen that in the past?
Unless DCS would come in there and, Child Services would come in there and see something that would throw up a red flag. I don't know. I don't know that answer. That's a good question, and I don't think I'm qualified to answer that question. But I would think that if there was some sort of abuse or there was proof of abuse, then I think that those kids would have already been.
It was more of a question for you because you've seen so many of these cases. I wasn't asking essentially for your professional opinion, like, procedure wise, but have you seen it in the past? Like, okay, our California City boys were 2 went missing, and there was 4 other. 2 biological from the adoptive family, the 2 that were adopted that went missing, and then 2 other adopted kids. They came in there the next day and took all 4 kids because they couldn't answer to the police why definitively what happened. They said kids were outside playing while I was getting wood. I went inside, came back outside, they were gone.
Yeah. Do I think that the kids should have been? Yes.
Thank you.
And this is the only reason why is that there was allegations that she was giving alcohol to a minor, 15 years old. And then if you just watch her interviews, sometimes she don't even know what planet she's on.
I agree. She seems like she's on drugs and or alcohol or both.
Or both. Yeah. I mean, her eyes, good Lord. Again, I didn't think that she even knew her name, but to me, I would think that that's more than enough. That if this was true, and I think that even H's mother admitted that she had given this kid alcohol. To me, I don't know why she's not under arrest for contributing to a minor, but then I would have pulled the other kids because what are they getting?
Sergeant Cannon, I got a question for you. What's the legality of local law enforcement over there asking these parents to submit to a drug test? I mean, they could probably just tell them, F you, I'm not going to do it.
No, they can't force them to submit to a drug test, but you got to also remember, Don has a extensive criminal history. I don't know whether he's under the supervision of the criminal justice system, but certainly I could go into that house and based upon her interview, and I could inspect the house. I would remove those kids because she appears to be intoxicated all the time. And just the incident that occurred, you are watching your kid and the story sucks, so I'm removing the kids, the story's horrible.
Story stinks to high heavens. But let me focus back in on what's most important here, because we didn't call Dave in to go over this case. And I thank you for touching on that, because lots of people want to hear other people's opinion other than law enforcement. So we do give that perspective, but it's always great to have a guy like yourself come on. And I thank you for that. But let me focus on, prayer emojis in the chat. If you guys can put some prayers up for David and his crew that are going down on Saturday into Rogersville and Hawkins County and in the general vicinity. Let's send them positive vibes, strength, and prayers for safety, first and foremost.
That was my son. I told him I'd call him back. Not my son with the kids, my other son that lives with his grandma. Listen, I'm going to tell you all a story. I'll probably get bashed and be told I'm a bad mom or something bad will come out of it. But let me tell you a story. When my son was 14, I have a friend that reminds me much of Candace, and that's why my heart bleeds for Candace. I have a friend that acts like her, keeps her hair like her, wears a hat like her, and I love this girl. To this day, even though she did what she did, I had to teach her a hard lesson. She is partially autistic, though, okay? She has some problems. She lived with me for a while. I took her under my wing, but she has the mentality of a 14-year-old. So she marries this guy. They get an apartment up here by me because they moved from another part of the city. And I find out my son's skipping school, okay? Do you know, I walked up her house. She didn't know I had to go to the Unimart up the street to get a pack of cigarettes, and I decided to knock on her door one day, and my son's sitting in her living room smoking a fucking blunt with her. Do you know the police came? I made them take my son right back to fucking school, and I was going to press charges on her. That's how serious it was. Because I grew up fucked up, and I don't want my kid growing up fucked up. And at that age, he already made fucking stupid ass decisions. I know what he was doing. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to have my adult friend smoke a blunt with my 14-year-old. So if I found out that my friend was giving him alcohol, she would have got her ass beat. Their brains aren't developed. You don't add to it. They're already going to sneak out. They already got enough peer pressure. As a mother, you want what's best for your children. You want them to grow up, go to school, even if it don't always turn out the way you want it, and they have kids and are immature. You still wish the best for your children. And I'll be goddamned if a friend of mine is going to contribute any alcohol, any drugs to my child. Okay. No, but they'll go, oh, she knows people that does drugs. They smoke weed with kids. Everybody knows people like that. I don't want to hear that there's a person on this earth that don't know a fucking person like that. Now, when my children turned 18, I smoked a fucking blunt with them myself. So, whatever. They're adults at that age. And they all smoke responsibly, and they bitch at me for as much as I smoke. So that should tell you something.
And bringing Summer home and finding Summer Wells. That's the mission. That's what they're going down there for. And like he said, we have one thing in our focus, in our view, and that is finding Summer Wells and finding where she is. So on behalf of Crime Time with Duty Ron and Bill Cannon from Police Off the Cuff, Dave, I'm sending you strength and positive vibes. And if there's, you're going to get a call from me or a text on Saturday night. You can guarantee that.
I will be waiting with bated breath. For sure.
Thank you.
Hey, Duty Ron, can you send him a pizza?
I'll send him whatever. I don't know what to get out in the
I
middle.
don't think.
Do they deliver in Tennessee?
Is there Uber Eats? Is there Uber Eats out there? I send him a freaking Uber Eats. Big lot. But no, seriously, thank you so much for coming, and I'm looking forward to a follow-up. And maybe if you don't even need internet. If you can get cell service, I'll just have you on audio, and you can just give us maybe a recap.
Yeah, that's fine.
Go down there, kick ass, shake up the tree, and I'm hoping for a successful. You call them missions? What do you call these things?
I just we just call it. Let's just go find them. Let's go get Summer.
To go find them. Hoorah! Excellent. Thank you again from New York City. Dave is in Ohio, and Bill is up in the sticks in between your cheeksville, upstate New York. Thank you for joining. God bless the world. God bless the United States of America, and God bless each and every one of us here in the chat. All victims of crime and their families across the globe, we send prayers and positive vibes. Good night from New York, and thank you.
Oh, 2 hours and 25 minutes later, we finally got through that with my chatty ass mouth. Yeah, I don't like how YouTube blocks all the damn words. That pisses me off. There's some words that should be allowed because they're a part of life. Like, women get hard. You're just silencing it, in my opinion. You know what I mean? There's gang violence. Those are things that our culture and we talk about in our daily lives with our neighbors and friends and families. I don't understand why saying certain things online you're not allowed. It pisses me off. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you is, where did it go? I didn't watch this yet. It's only a minute long. But this was Twyla News, and I know they did a couple news clips, so another night I'll go through and find more. This was just a quick find right before I came live. Okay.
Well, the search for missing 5-year-old Summer Wells continues tonight, and now law enforcement is getting some backup. Austin Martin is at the WAT.com alert desk. So, Austin, who's coming in to help?
Well, this weekend, the Texas-based search and rescue operation Equasearch will be in East Tennessee searching for Wells. Around 20 professional search and rescue crew members will be in the Beech Creek community of Hawkins County, searching the rough terrain around Summer's home. The group comes from several states, including Ohio, Kentucky, Alabama, and Tennessee. This crew has done over 30 similar searches since 2012. Coordinator Twyla Cisco says this is what they do.
Our successful rate is pretty good. And when we go out there, we do everything that we possibly can, everything that we possibly can. And when we go into an area, we search that with our foot searchers. And then our director, he does not let us leave an area until he feels confident that that area has been taken care of.
Now, crews will start at dawn and stop when it gets dark. Equasearch says it will stay in Hawkins County as long as it takes. At the alert desk, Austin Martin, WATE.com.
Hey, you guys make me laugh. Okay, so that was just a short clip. Now, Duty Ron has, I think we'll end. I'll play the next two because they're rather short. And then tomorrow, I'll just leave this tab up and put it down and open a new desktop. And I'll save this. And tomorrow, we'll start here. July 24th, 2021, Dave Radar comes on again. But we'll watch these. What the hell am I doing here? We just watched that. We'll watch these two shorter vids. And you guys do know I have this on 1.25. I tried to get it to go a little faster, but you can't. Us Northerners, we talk too fast. We're not slow talkers, so you can't really speed it up much. Okay.
Welcome to another edition of Crime Time with Duty Ron from the mobile. Guys, I'm a retired NYPD detective with 20 plus years in law enforcement. If you like all things true crime related from a police perspective, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you will get all things when I go live or upload. I wanted to just come live quickly today and first say thank you to my Patreon supporters, my channel members, and everyone who positively interacts in the live streams, whether it's in the comment section, whether it's in the comment section, onto my website, in my Discord, here in the chat. It's greatly appreciated. Hello, Joan, Gerda. Hello, OC Tony. Thank you for joining. Hi, Darlene. Hi, Marie. Hey, I just want to say quickly, by a show of hands, how many of you folks enjoyed the live stream last night? We had the Midwest director, Dave Rader, on from Equasearch. I thought he was such a humble, nice, wonderful, warm, welcoming guy. I was so surprised how awesome he was and is as a human being. So just let me know by a show of hands how many of you guys enjoyed the informative live stream on Summer Wells. I thought it was, for me, it was awesome just to be interviewing him and talking with him. To have him come on and talk to us, I think, was a valuable tool. It gives us a really good, close look into what these searchers are going to be doing. And this weekend is going to be important. And I think that it was a really great look into the inner workings of what these guys, the men and women of Equasearch, what they do across our great nation and across the world. They're worldwide. They've gone to Aruba, they've gone to Nicaragua, Mexico, Jamaica. There was so many places on the list of where they responded to. So thank you to everybody piling on in. I wanted to make a quick clear announcement. He has agreed on Saturday night. Now, cell service in the Tennessee area, as we know, is spotty. So this is all providing he gets a signal where he can make even a phone call. But he agreed after the live stream was over. He agreed to come and give me live updates on Saturday night. So I'm asking you guys to keep your calendar open. Hello, Will 411 now. Great to see you. That's a great channel right there for good information. Will 411. He's going up the screen. Thank you for coming in and always positively interacting here. Will, it's great to see you. He agreed to give me live updates, providing he gets a signal. I'm hoping to get him to come on by audio only. If we could get a video from him, Jocelyn, good to see you. If we can get a video out of him, we'll do a video. But I'm going to try to do StreamYards just audio. I'm hoping and praying that we'll get audio from him. So he agreed to come on and give us an update after a long day of searching. So I greatly appreciated that. I mean, I didn't even have to ask him. He just said, hey, no problem. I will give you an update. Paul Peck Drywall, great to see you. So our good friend Dave Rader is being so kind to give us these live updates. So Saturday night, I don't know when it's going to be. We're going to get updates from Dave. I wanted to just quickly make a quick announcement. So there was a couple of things. There was two things that I got a lot of messages about. One is when I was on Police Off the Cuff the other night, I was making a reference to a 911 call. I was talking about Don and Candace Wells' previous domestic incident from October. I wasn't specific about it, and I know I listened back to it a couple of times. We all make mistakes, and I'm the first to admit to it. I got some good information that I thought was good from somebody who has been a good friend of mine and still continues to be a good friend of mine for over 4 years on social media. She sent me a message before I went live that there was a 911 call that was recently released, and that's what I was referencing to. I should have been more specific about it, being more pinpointed about it, but I didn't. I'm a human being just like you guys, and I do make mistakes. As we know, nobody's perfect. Anybody that says they're perfect is full of boop, is full of boop. But that's what I was talking about in our discussion. And I just, because I'm a guest on the show, I didn't want to take up a lot of time explaining, but it did come out quite wrong. And it gave people, I apologize to some of my really good subscribers and fans that I caused a little bit of anxiety for them. They were searching for the 911 call from the most recent incident, but we were talking about past criminal history. And that's what I was talking about, is that I had word that the 911 call was released from that, but it turns out that was released quite a bit in the past. But that being said, I don't like that I gave some people some anxiety, and they were trying to go search for it, and they spent a lot of time. So I apologize for that. The other thing was a lot of people misconstrued when I said that the billboards, the actual digital highway signs, were taken down. Amber Alerts never get canceled, but they're on a website, so people have to actually go to a website to see it. The point that I was trying to make about the Amber Alert, and everybody misconstrued and thought that I was saying the Amber Alerts were canceled. I was talking about the actual digital signs in Tennessee. They opted to shut them down. And that's the point that I was making, but I guess it didn't come across right. So that was the second thing that everybody was kind of up in arms over. So I wanted to address those two things. And I want to be clear that I was saying that the digital sign was shut down. And in fact, they are shut down. Not only did I see confirmation from local news, but I heard, through other people that are local there, that they don't see the signs lit anymore. But anyways, much love and respect to you guys. Again, I apologize that, yes, WJHL. Thank you, Jojo. I apologize if anybody got a little extra anxiety over it or spent. You can't get those minutes back when you start searching for something that doesn't exist. So I apologize. I apologize to Police Off the Cuff, to Bill Cannon. I'm only human. I'm not a machine. So for those of you who are throwing hate and shade towards me, I could take it. I have a thick skin. I was in law enforcement for a long time, and I used to hear people all the time when I would come up in uniform, F the police, I hope you die, I hope you're this. So a little bit of internet trolling and people being nasty and mean and putting comments, I'm not going to lose any sleep over that, trust me. But to my loyal fans and people who subscribed and are subscribed to me and continue to subscribe to me, I apologize for that. Let's go forward. Dave Rader, unbelievable guest. I was so impressed with the way he handled himself. He's just a regular guy. And when I spoke to him yesterday, I started speaking to him. Thank you guys for all the accolades. When I spoke to Dave yesterday, it was like I was speaking to an old friend. Like he was, the conversation that we started, it was like I was speaking to somebody from high school. I don't know if any of you guys can relate to that. We got on the phone. He was at work. I called Texas Equasearch, and at the Secretary of Texas Equasearch, when I asked for Tim, they said, he's still recovering, but you don't want to speak to him because Dave is the one from the Midwest chapter in Ohio. She told me Dave is the one you want to speak to. And when she sent me, thank you, Brenda, when she gave me his cell number, I was like, wow, I thought I was going to have to leave my number and he was going to call me back. So I was so happy to get in contact with him. That it happened all so quickly yesterday. And the reason it happened is because people like yourselves, like some of the great people who subscribe to me and follow this case, they've sent me so many messages. You got to get a hold of Equasearch. Got to get a hold of Equasearch. You got to call the Equasearch people. And yesterday I got the news from, I think it was one of the local stations, saying that Equasearch was coming back again to research this weekend on the 24th. So it got my mind thinking. I was like, oh, it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday. I said, oh, let me call and see if I can, interview Tim or talk to somebody from Equasearch in Texas. So I called, and then she referred me to Dave up in Ohio. And when I called Dave, he didn't answer right away. He let my thing go to voicemail, and I left a voicemail. But before he even listened to the voicemail, he called me back. He's like, hi, can I help you? Hi, can I help you? Thinking that I was going to be someone asking, could you come and search for my missing loved one? I explained to him who I was, and it was a quick introduction. And like I said, it was like an old friend on the phone. And he was like, whatever I can do, brother, I'll do it. As I said, do you want to send out a message I saw the message that you put out on the news that you don't want people giving up your search locations. I said, you could use my platform if you want, come on it. That was the conversation. And he was just like, let's do it, brother. Let's do it tonight. And I was like, tonight? Let's do it tomorrow, meaning tonight, today, Tuesday. And he's like, no, let's do it now. I got to get ready to go down to Tennessee. So I got to get all my people together. I got a lot of work to do. He goes, let's do it tonight. I was not prepared for it, but I did the best that I could. And I think that interview between myself and retired Sergeant Bill Cannon, I think it went well. We answered a lot of questions. We asked him a lot of questions, and he answered a lot of them. And I think that it's important that we understand that these guys have one mission and one mission only, to find Summer Wells. So at this point right now, it is so important that we give them whatever backfill and whatever we can do for them. And I would say this, the people who super chatted last night, it amounted to like almost $1,000. I was able to send him $1,000 from you guys, and he was blown away by it. So I'm going to tell you, David was in awe of how awesome you guys are. There was a couple of private donors and a couple of people who sent PayPal donations. Thank you to those anonymous folks that sent PayPals as well. I linked in my description last night a way to support Midwest Equasearch. Click on that link. It'll take you straight to his PayPal, and a $5 donation goes a long way. So you guys, forget about me. This has nothing to do with me. This has everything to do with you guys. You guys knocked it out of the park last night. We did it together. You are so kind and generous. You people are unbelievable. And it's a testament to show how invested we all are in Summer Wells and how much we love this young girl and we want to bring her home. I love you guys right back. Cassie Marie says, love your channel. Thank you. I think this is what our online community should be. And this is something where people should take a look at this and say, this is what I need to strive to do to try to help. And I not only talked to him last night about Summer Wells, I am talking to him about possibly sending Equasearch all the way to California in Bakersfield to search for our beloved Orrin and Orson West Sincere and Classic. And I think we're going to be able to get that done. There's a couple of things that need to take place for that to happen. So we're going to work hard. I'm going to work hard along with David to try to get Equasearch to come out and shake up the tree over in Bakersfield in California City. So I'm going to do the best that I can for our boys. As you know, we got the digital billboards. They're paid for going into September. So I have the whole month of August paid for. That happened last night. Thank you to the generous donors. I say donors because there was more than one. So thank you to the generous donors to continue our digital billboard in Bakersfield on Highway 99. That's paid for now all the way right up until September 1st. So we're going to continue to fundraise for that. And we've over $6,000 has been spent on those digital billboards. And I think it's a good thing. It keeps their names out in the light. It keeps people on the highway seeing it. And I think it's important that Orrin and Orson West and Sincere and Classic's names stay out there, as should all the names of all the missing. But unfortunately, we can't do it for everybody. We could, these are cases that we are so close to. And I couldn't do this without the help of all of you guys. So this community, the great part about this community is we do it together. So I appreciate every one of you. I love and respect you all. Here's a little bit of something that I'm going to be doing. By a show of hands in the chat, by pressing a 1, let me know if you know or you've seen the show Live PD. Let me know by putting a 1 in the chat if you've ever seen Live PD. It's now canceled. It was part of the cancel culture of last summer. Live PD with Sergeant Sean Sticks Larkin. Sergeant Sean Sticks Larkin. If anybody here doesn't know him, I'll introduce you to him. He's going to be a guest on my show. He's going to be joining us. He was the host of Live PD. He has his own YouTube channel and podcast. It's called Cop Tales, COPTALES, and Cocktails. Cop Tales, meaning cops telling stories, and cocktails. I'm going to be joining him tomorrow night on his YouTube show. I will link that down below, 7:30 Eastern Time. I'll be joining him on his show. It's called Cop, COPTALES, and Cocktails. So, Sean Larkin, look him up, SEANLARKIN. His nickname is Sticks, STICKS. So, again, I saw a lot of number 1s in the chat for Live PD fans. If you're a fan of the show, let me know. It's a United States show. I don't think it was international. Let me know if you've ever seen Live PD and Sergeant Sean Sticks Larkins. Jen Lowe says Sticks rocks. He's going to be and Message D, thank you for the $10 super chat. Much love and respect on the works caved in and they canceled his show. We're going to talk to him about that. I'm going to talk to him about why they canceled his show and what he's up to and what's happening and is the show coming back.
Okay, so I think Duty Ron's done talking about summer in that video at that point. So tomorrow I'm just going to pick up on this video. It's a 12-minute video. And then we'll continue into this live, which is an hour, 19 minutes, take about 10 minutes off on 1.25. And then I'm going to try to get through another one of his lives with Equasearch. I was hoping to get through all this tonight, but that's not going to be a thing. We're going on 3 hours here. I got to call my hubby and do dishes, and it's 1 a.m. I'm actually kind of tired. I dozed off after Tiffany's live. I don't know. Strange. I jumped up like, oh my goodness, I was supposed to go live. So I'm going to end it here. And tomorrow we will begin where we left off. And we're just going to continue through all of the Equasearch with Duty Ron. Not all of it, just what he has done with Summer, because he's had them on several times. So we're just going to do the Summer stuff, but they have spoken about Summer and some other ones. So in the background, I'm going to be listening to those and seeing if there's any other little clips that need to be pulled out And I'm probably going to skip the part about Trevor because I'm going to do that at the end, because there are some other things in there that I want you guys to see that I discovered listening to it that I didn't know, that a lot of people might not know. So, hope you guys will join me all week long, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace and love. Bye.